So nam aloha everyone. Welcome to the live stream. And I'm I'm sure everyone's had their experience of this weekend with that Mars Uranus North Node conjunction on exact yesterday. So this is getting us setting our sails, going forward. We're moving forward. The train is leaving the station. So let me just share my screen here. Right here. Okay. So be sure to put your name down and where you're logging in from if you want, so people can see who's here. And I can see who's here too. Okay. So let's do this here. Okay. And I want to check something with this live stream because I wanted to fill the screen. But then that where you can see everything here. Okay. I think that's better. Okay. There's just a delay on my my laptop. Okay. Okay. We'll get right start it. As soon as this gets fixed. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Okay, so that's the chart as of today. And just an announcement too that I've extended the recorded readings, and the coupon code isn't friend anymore. It's kindness. Kindness, all caps. And that will be the 50% off the recorded readings. And this is what you need to, the food you need to eat, the environment you need to be in, how your brain works, how your awareness works with the meditation. And what was I going to say about that? That's all about the deconditioning process, because we're becoming our authentic selves for the Aquarian age. So this starts to decondition you at the cellular level, because the conditioning field goes deeper than just brain and beliefs, like our beliefs and all the propaganda and the brainwashing that we took on living in this in the Piscean age that our parents went through, our grandparents, etc. It goes right to the frequency that's in our body, so we have to release that as well, so that we can start to hold these higher frequencies that are coming to the planet, right? That are here, if you can feel it. So this is the chart as of now, as of today. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about is the nodes, the nodal axis here. So you can see the little, it looks like a little octopus, doesn't it? Just with 2 legs instead of 8 legs. It's usually a horseshoe. So that's the north node, 2.6. And then the south node is 1.6. So the south node is what we're leaving, and the north node is what we're embracing. So this is our new storyline. Remember, we were in the 43-23. So we are here until November 7th. November 7th. Okay. Here we go. This is really bugging me. Just a second. See if that works any better. I think that's a little bit better. And then I'll put this higher. Technology is my blessing. Love technology, but it's also my curse, my challenge. Okay. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. Oh, we're not doing the human design types. Okay. So this is the self node that we're letting go of. So this is Scorpio. It's in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. And then with the system that I use, human design, there's actually 6. They're called hexagrams that are in each zodiac sign. So it's very specific, right? This kind of astrology. So we're leaving the shadow of numbness, and then we're moving into the gift of orientation, gift of unity, and this is the 2. So back to the chart here, that's the 1 that we're leaving behind. This is the G center right here that 1 is coming off of. And then still in the G center where we're going to is the 2. So I talked a lot about the magnetic monopole in my other videos and etc. So I don't want to repeat myself too much on this live stream. But yeah, if you want to learn more, watch the last 2 videos at least, right? The introduction parts, and you'll learn more about what this magnetic monopole is all about. And so G center is the center of self in direction. So it's the love of the self, higher self, in our direction. Okay, so what's the fear here? Because every shadow has a fear. So the fear of numbness and the gift of creativity and beauty is the fear of something seriously wrong with me if I feel low. So numbness is this it's like the weather, you know, how some days the weather's cloudy and overcast and other days it's sunny and sometimes it's rain. Well, we've got our own internal weather pattern, right? So sometimes it's just what's going on internally. There's no rhyme or reason. But, you know, Big P likes to make money from that, you know. If you're feeling low, which is just natural. We go through cycles of highs and lows as humans. There's nothing wrong with that. But we run to a doctor right away. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. And then you get on, you know, antidepressants and all these other medications. And then that is just piling on more problems for you, right? Because you've got side effects to deal with and things like that, you know. And then Big P's making tons of money from this. So it's in their best interest to keep us addicted to drugs, right? But it's just it's our natural state. And also victimized by feeling numb. So numbness is, because some people think, well, numbness is just like I'm not feeling anything, right? I'm just repressing all my emotions. It's like, no, numbness is a feeling, right? So it's just about allowing it, like to let go of this. We can't, with the self note, it's not about like running away, like, you know, I want to run away from the numbness, because that's more shadow. So the shadow makes you want to be active, right? I'm going to be busy, bee, right? I'm going to be a busy bee. Or I'm going to isolate myself, and this is all about distraction. I'm just going to wallow in this depression, and I'm going to be in my mind about it, you know. And then the ego, mind, this is Worm Tongue, he represents the ego in my world, whispering in your ear, like Cyrano de Bergerac, right? There's something wrong with you, or you better stay busy, so you don't feel, right? You don't feel this numbness, because the numbness is like ice on top of a lake, right? It's like a frozen lake, and there's lots of movement below that ice. So it's about allowing that ice to melt, and that means like just open to it. It's like, I'm feeling numb. Be honest. I'm feeling numb right now. And then there's a lot of feelings beneath that. The other thing I wanted to say was, just a second. I thought that quote. Where is it? Oh, you know what I can do is I can go right on the my YouTube. This one. This quote that I love. This one. Can you see that? Or I'm in the way, aren't I? There I go. Okay. So this fits with this, you know, this numbness that we're leaving behind. And this, it's like I say, it's all about our relationships right now, right? This next, well, now until we get into the Aquarian age, it's really up right now. The charts are showing us it. Our intuition is showing us. Our life is showing us. It's about our getting in those correct relationships. So this quote, which we don't know, I can't attribute it to anyone. I don't know who wrote it, but it's, I wish people could just say how they feel. Like, hey, I really don't like when you do that to me. Or, hey, I'm in love with you. Or, hi, I really miss you and I think about you all the time, without sounding desperate. And this is like the judgment, right, of the mind and the ego. You're going to sound desperate. Why can't everybody be painfully honest and just save people the trouble, right? Because this goes back to, let me get back here. In terms of the chart, goes back to Neptune in the 36. You can see it there, right? Neptune in the 36. This is about being emotionally vulnerable, right? And so a lot of comments that I got, because I posted this on my other social pages, right? Instagram and Telegram and Facebook. A lot of like pessimism, right? In when they underneath that quote, and it's like, yeah, that'll be the day. I won't hold my breath for that. Well, what I want to say, because this is related to this one, right? This first hexagram, what we're leaving behind, that first gate, it's connected to the 1-8, right? I have this channel. This is the creative role model. This is about, like, don't be complaining that somebody else isn't doing it. You do it. You do it first, right? You be emotionally vulnerable first. So, where am I here? Just a second, you guys. Okay. So, there I am. So you be first, right? To be emotionally vulnerable. And the only thing that's stopping you, again, is this ego from being emotionally vulnerable. The soul and the greatness of who you are is authentic. It's true. There's no fear here. It's just like, I'm being truthful. I'm being honest, right? That's the only thing that's stopping you, is this, from being emotionally vulnerable. And it's all a bunch of lies, right? Because the ego will tell you you should be shameful, or you'll get rejected. You can't be vulnerable. You'll look powerless. All those shadow patterns, all 64, are going to come right through the ego into your ear, and then this stops you. You don't think everybody in the world feels the same way that you do? We all feel the same. We're humans, right? We all have these vulnerabilities. We all have this ego in our head that's keeping us from being honest and truthful. It's just, right, the ego will tell you, well, you're the only one, right, that feels this way. No one else feels this way. Just you. There's something wrong with you. Wherever the ego is telling you, like, you're the best, that's the narcissist, right? You're the best. You're the top of the heap. You're the tippy top of the best of the best of the best, right? There's nothing like you, right? And from an ego point of view, and uniqueness is completely different, right? But this is like I'm superior to everybody, right? Or I'm the worst. I'm the only one that feels this way, right? There's something wrong with me. I feel low. That's this shadow, right? Of numbness, you know? So to remember that, and my own personal story with that is last time I had the JOB, we used to have these check-ins, like a staff check-in. Maybe you guys had that too in your in your workplace, and it was just for show, you know. Really, it was the message was, we really want your feedback, right? We're so interested in your feedback so we can make changes and we can make everybody happy. And it was just all like, right, lip service. Basically, they weren't interested in feedback. So anyway, so we'd have these check-ins, and there were 7 of us. And like I said before, I worked for a nonprofit, you know, and anybody's worked for a nonprofit, you know what that's like. It's that workaholism is encouraged, right? Encouraged for the good cause. You're doing it for a good cause, right? So we would have these check-ins, you know, on Mondays. And so each person would talk about their weekend and how they were feeling about their work in the workplace. And it would just be, it'd be like 7 of us, and I'm the last one to go. And it would be the fine face, right? Oh, everything's great. Yeah, work's great. Everything's going great. You know, the I'm fine face, you know that. And inside is like completely belying what's happening. The words are not matching with the internal, right, with these people, and I can see it. So we're going around the table, right? And I'm feeling my throat chakra starting to pound. This is when you know you've got to speak the truth. It's when you start to feel this pound, 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 pound. And there's my ego telling me, don't do it. Don't do it. Here's what you say. You just say it. Everything's great, right? Everything's great. And then you just go. You don't rock the boat. And then you leave and everything's fine, right? So I'm like listening to my ego at that time and like, yeah, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to do it this time. Here's what I'm going to say, right? And meanwhile, that throat chakra's pounding, and I'm an early indigo, right? And early indigos, we're here to tear down the Piscean age, all these structures, point out all the abuse of power, right? It's just who we are. So you can relate to that if you're an indigo. All the indigos are like in their 30s, but I was an early indigo. So, and so I'm already, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this time. And then it gets to me and like spew the truth, right? It's just coming out of my mouth. I can't help it, right? So I'm like, this isn't working. We don't have enough support. We're doing the job of 2 people, each one of us. We're expected to work overtime. We're not being paid properly. It's just all coming out of me. And the supervisor, the festival director at the time's like looking at me, and like it's like the smile, but the eyes and energy are like, shut up. Right? Just shut up now. But I couldn't help it. The truth just had to move through me, right? Because of the chakra, it was moving, right? I had to let it move. So then we disperse, and I go into my office, right? I have an office, and close the door, and my mind is like, why do you always do that? Right? My mind and ego, like, why do you always do that? Nobody else does it but you, and you're the only one that feels this way, right? And this is the isolation, right? The ego telling you this. It's just you, right? You're the one that's got the problem. There's something wrong with you. So I'm working, and then little by little, each coworker comes in, sneaks in my office and closes the door, and then whispers like, thank you, Michael. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly how I feel. And here's why, right? And just completely validating what I said. And I said, this is great and all, but I need you when I'm on the firing line to like be beside me, and I'll be beside you, and we can speak the truth, right? I'll back you up on your truth. So, you know, my message is don't assume. right? Listening to this ego that you're the only one, right? We all feel this. We all know the truth. And if you're feeling that, if you're an indigo, right, and you're feeling that pounding in your throat chakra, then you have to speak the truth. And so when you speak the truth, you're aligned. You're aligned with the power of the universe when you're speaking the truth, right? When the truth was spewing out of me, right? Many times truth is spewing out of me. I feel so aligned, right? Like I'm being empowered in the moment, right? Speaking the truth. So it's the same with you, you know, that you're aligned with this great power because the universe is truth. And the age of Aquarius is the age of truth, right? So it's not getting frightened, right? Of like that last quote that I had, right? Of just saying how you feel. That's all. Now it's the time to do it. Be emotionally vulnerable. I always pretend that I'm speaking. Okay, I'm speaking to that person, and I know it's like I'm not being arrogant to say that this isn't easy. It's still challenging for me, especially when you're speaking from your heart to, you know, to another person that you care about and you don't know how they feel, right? That if it's going to be reciprocated or you'll be rejected and all those fears that we have as humans. But I always pretend that it's like it's God is there witnessing me, right? Am I going to be in truth or not? And it's really you at the end of the day that's got to look at you in the mirror, right? So you have to, this is what it means to be in integrity, right? We're bringing all these words back that we've forgotten as humans: integrity, nobility, honor, valor, all those great words. And integrity is when the inside and the outside match, right? And we're not going to be able to hide anymore. The Aquarian age is like nothing can remain hidden, right? And your energy and your aura don't lie. This can lie up and down, and people have been able to fool other people. But if you're awake and you're on your spiritual path, you know who's lying, who's not in integrity, and who is in integrity. So it's really about us being in integrity, right? With this new timeline that we're on, and speaking our truth, especially in our relationships, right? Just allowing ourselves to be emotionally vulnerable. And it's got to start with someone, so might as well start with you. That's what this 1-8 is saying. That's the leadership, one of the leadership channels. It's being a creative role model, and that's like you're going first. There's nothing to lose, right? These are all lies from the ego and the mind, right? You're in power. You're empowered when you're in that frequency of truth. When you're speaking your truth, you're empowered. The ego will tell you, no, you're powerless, right? You're filled with shame. You'll be humiliated. You'll be this and you'll be that. These are all lies to keep you out of your power. When you're in truth, Satnam, right? That's what Satnam means. Truth is my identity, right? And that's why the Kundalini yogis, right, greet each other with Satnam. It means that whatever's coming out of my mouth is going to be truthful as I can be, right? Okay. So let's go back to this nodal axis, right? So not to be afraid of this numbness, right? And it can, the shadow can lead to sadness and depression. So sadness and depression. And this is just natural. Some days are low. And we're going to be going through we're already on it. If you can feel it. I was telling a friend the other day, it's really challenging for me to make plans because I never know what I'm going to feel, how am I going to feel that day. And she was agreeing, right? Like some days it's just like, I've got no energy. All I have energy for is just to rest and relax. And then there's other days where you've got tons and tons of energy, right? It's just about trusting this process, this weather pattern. There's a weather pattern moving through you internally. So it can make you feel lethargic and heavy, right? The shadow too. So we're moving away from that, which means like not to feel it, but don't live there in it, and don't let the mind there's something wrong with you. You better go see a doctor. And then all the horror stories. So this is all the horror stories. This is going on with you, and this is going to happen to you. You don't want to listen to any of that, right? And then we're moving into the second gate, which also comes off the G center, and it's all about our direction, our trajectory. So we are on this new timeline, and I really felt it this weekend, and it's not about really like the external circumstances of your life, because it takes time for things to catch up in time and space, because it's really about your frequency shifting, right? Shifting, and then that vibration gets sent out, and then the circumstances start rearranging and shifting, right? But it's us first. This is the source of it. It's the shift in energy inside. So this is the new timelines. Like, I really feel we're in these new timelines now. And some of us didn't make it. Like, some of us are not going to make it on the new timeline. And it's really about an alignment. It's an alignment with this new Aquarian consciousness. That's what we're aligning to. And so it's putting us like we were riding down a train, and then now we're going down different tracks. And so this is about building. Remember, it's North Node in Taurus, right? North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. Scorpio destroys, right? It's very destructive. It's decay. It's death, right? Then we're moving into, it's like we need to let go of this. Things are dying, right? Things are dying. Let's not fixate on these institutions going down. Like, everything's going down now. And move into, building. That's what Taurus is about, building and creating something new for this new earth, right? So for you, it's about aligning with you, your authentic self. And then it's going to come from that. So this is what my new recorded readings are going to be. And I'm like, my intent is to have them all ready by September, but it will really point people in the right direction for them based on their human design chart, where their purpose, like here's where you go. And it's not about like, oh, you should do this and I'm going to give you that. It's like, no, what are your gifts and talents? And then it's your job with your soul to like, okay, how is that going to fill a need, right? It's because the big question to ask right now is, how can I serve humanity? How can I serve humanity right now? And knowing where we're going and leaving this decay behind, right? There's flies, like look at if there's a banana and there's fruit flies all over it, and it's brown and it's like completely dead. Are you going to eat that? No, right? It's death. It's death energy. There's no life in that. You let it go. You open up peel the fresh banana, right? So this is the freshness. This gift of the one too is the freshness, right? So it means it's got to be original. It's got to be new. It's got to be creative. That's the gift of this first gate too, right? It's creativity. It's creativity. It's alive. You want to go where things are alive, not where they're dying. And we're seeing a lot of dying right now of these old structures and these old ways of being. And your old life, you got to let your old life die. You got to let your old self die. The old ways, the old self you used to be. If you're feeling it and you've been doing your internal work and you've been doing this for a while, or even yesterday, because it's like popcorn, people can pop, right? They could be asleep and then suddenly, boom, they're awake. They're tuned in. They're in, right? And some people can be working on this for 20 years and they don't pop, right? It's really by the grace of God. But if you feel like you popped, you're a popcorn that's popped, then it's time to just let all of it go. Let it all go and move into this new timeline that we're all in. And it's about creating something new and exciting, like be the adventurer now. So it's also about embracing the feminine. Embrace, this is very masculine, the first gate, and the second gate is feminine. They're the first two hexagrams, right, of the I Ching out of 64. So it's embracing the feminine way, right? And that's seeing the whole, not looking at little, like my little life and my little family and my little job, and right? And that's all I see. This is the isolation, right? Is to expand. The feminine sees the whole, right? The whole picture. I'm not talking about women and men. I'm talking about energy, right? The feminine archetype sees the whole, right? So this is like you've got that greater vision, which is Jupiter is telling you this is the law that we have to follow right now. That's our law. And that's making your decisions from a far-sightedness, right? Omniscience is the city. I have this in a prominent position, the 17. It's coming off the ajna, right? Rules the right eye. So this is about, right, looking into the law is like it's all our decisions now have to be made from this place. Like we're looking long term. We're looking long term. We're looking at the whole. We've got this elevated view now, right? And it's like, where do I fit in? That's what this gate or this channel is about too, the 1949. Where do I fit in with all of this? You know, and your intuition and your soul will help you discern that. And so that's the feminine, like the whole, right? How is this going to affect other people? This is the feminine, right? My actions and my decisions, how are they going to affect the collective? The greater, my greater community beyond my little family unit. Like how is it going to affect others, right? And then embracing the surrender, trust, receptivity, right? Letting things come to you, right? Letting things come to you. And then, I mean, if you're a human design person, you know that manifestors have to initiate, right? It's not about response, but as a manifestor, you're allowing your intuition to speak to you. You're allowing the divine to speak to you. Like everything is coming from the feminine first. It's not coming from the masculine, which is the mind, and then the masculine's running rickshaw over everything, right? It's inspired action. Everything has to come from the feminine now. That's what this second gate, the North Node, is showing us in our new storyline, our new timeline, right? And then this is about surrendering to the life, right? And surrender means sometimes you're low, sometimes you're high. Trust when you need the energy will be there for you. Becoming receptive, right? Relaxing, keeping your body relaxed. It's also about the body too. The second gate's about the body, so keeping the body relaxed. It's very creative, and it's going into being instead of the doing. Right? The masculine is do. You want to be get good with just being, right? Just being. Some days you're not going to do anything. I've had days like that. Didn't do anything. I just stared out at a tree all day. I've had days like that, right? And then walk my dog, like did the minimal. And sometimes that's called for and sometimes it's not, right? It's not up to the mind how we are in this new age of Aquarius. It's really up to your design, right? And your soul of how your life's going to unfold. What else did I want to say about that? Okay. Right. So the fear here, just with the second gate, just to go over this quickly, is I'm going in the wrong direction. That's what this will say. With the shadow of 2, we're going to 2, but we also have to look at this because we're looking at frequency, right? So if you find yourself in this mind state of like, I'm going in the wrong direction, it means you're in the shadow pattern. It's impossible, right? It's about trusting, right? The second gate. is about trusting that you're exactly where you're supposed to be in each and every moment. You know, there's no such thing as a wrong direction. The other thing too, when you know you're in the shadow of lost, right, in the gate of direction, is you'll have thoughts like humanity is destroying itself, right? So the thing to remember too with the two is that there's an underlying harmony to everything. There's an underlying harmony to everything. I always look at it, if you've got metal shavings or fillings on a tabletop, and then you've got the magnet that's underneath, right? That's underneath. And say you can't see the magnet, right? You got it hidden, and you see all these fillings like moving around, and you're like, how did, right? Somebody that can't see the magnet, how are they all moving around? Well, there's a magnet there doing all of that, right? It's magnetism. That's the two. To know that this universal force is like coordinating everything for us, right? Moving us to where we need to be, bringing us to the people that we're supposed to be with, having the experiences we're supposed to have. Like, to just trust that in this pull. It's like pulling us, right? And we'll get those messages through our intuition. So where are you being pulled right now? That's a good question to ask yourself. Where am I being pulled? And not to force, right? With the second gate, you can't force and use your willpower. It's about surrendering, right? And trusting. And then the other sign that you're in this shadow pattern is you feel like you're victimized by your external circumstances. And that's the ego fighting that it shouldn't be this way, right? You shouldn't be with these people. You shouldn't be in this job. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be there. And it's like, if you're there, you're supposed to be there right now, you know? So it's about trusting, right? This is this new way of being. And we're in this lesson until November 7th. So no, right? You can't fight this. This is the easy way. I'm showing you, right? As a projector, guiding you. Like, this is the easy way to use your energy. Use your energy here. And letting go is falling away. Just let it fall away, you know? Not from a place of like having your heart closed. Good riddance, I'm done with you, right? It's I read this today about you can't really leave someone until you love them. And it's so true, right? You've got to love, before you leave these relationships, these karmic relationships, you have to love them. You have to forgive them. Doesn't mean you stay with them, but you have to love them, right? If you're lobbing bombs at that karmic relationship, you're going to bring all that energy into your new relationship, right? So that's a good, if you're in a separation phase right now with a partner, karmic partner, work on forgiveness. Do it for yourself, not for that other person. Do it for you. It's like, I'm not carrying this garbage into my next relationship, right? It's all about you. And just to let that go. Do it for yourself, right? I'm washing my hands clean in this relationship, and I'm feeling the love. Like, I really am thankful for that experience with that person. I learned so much about myself. Right? Go into your journal and write about like all the spiritual lessons that you learned, right? For good or bad. This is what I learned. I learned what I don't want. I learned what I do want for my next relationship. Just things like that, right? Because you can't really leave a person until you love them first, right? And then you're free. You want to be karmically free from that person. The other quick thing I wanted to say to people, because the mind, right? The mind can be so powerful for people when they're not used to, like, they think that voice in their head is them, you know? Because this voice has been in your head since you were a child, right? This ego. It's not you. This is the not self that's pulling you away from your authenticity, your authentic self, pulling you away from your power, okay? So a big lesson on the spiritual journey is discerning that voice isn't mine, right? And so how do you get here? awareness, right? This greater awareness, moving beyond, because you're much, much bigger than this ego. You're much, much bigger than this mind, right? And this is just an illustration. I mean, I got to work with what I got, right? So to get into this awareness, meditate is definitely will get you there. But sometimes you can't be. You're out and about, and this is when anxiety comes, right? And anxiety is fear of what's going to happen tomorrow, right? That anxiety is where your mind's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That should be a signal for you that I'm in my mind and I need to get out of this quickly, because you want to be aligned with this new timeline. The old timeline these are the people, and they're stuck there. They're stuck in the mind, right? They think that they're this. This is the old timeline, and there's the majority of people on the planet are here. You want to be up here, right? Above mind, above ego. So that should be a signal for you when I'm in a stress state and I'm worrying. I'm up at night. I've got anxiety. I'm like, I can't make any decisions, right? Analysis paralysis. I'm like back and forth with the what ifs. That should be like, I need to get out of this state, right? And so in order to hear that, you've got to have the body relaxed. You cannot be yourself without relaxing the body. Your body has to be relaxed. So body awareness, I mean, that's wherever you go, there's your body, right? Is your body. Like, check in with your body. Are your shoulders up to your ears? Are you shallow breathing? Like almost hyperventilating, right? Is your foot tapping and you can't stop it? Are you nervous and jumpy? Looking for distractions? Your head's turning around? These are all signs that you're in this state, right? You're in the state of this ego, and you're listening to these lies, right? And the ego wants you in this state. You're off center, you're off balance. And that means you're not aligned with your power. You're not aligned with your intuition. You're not aligned with your authenticity. That's your power, right? It's that frequency. That's you. That's who you really are. That's where your wisdom is, right? That's where your intelligence, your real intelligence is, right? All the juicy stuff that you want is here. And your authenticity, right? Your state of joy and happiness and peace. It's all here. It's not here. He promises, the ego promises, if you do this, you'll have peace, right? If you chase after this, you'll have happiness, right? It's all lies. These are all lies. This is where it is. It's now. It's not in the future. It's right now, in this moment. So become aware of your body. Right? This is about becoming a spiritual adult. It's like, I'm responsible for my state of consciousness. I'm not going to listen to the ego that's blaming everybody outside, right? They're why I'm unhappy. They're why I'm stressed out and worried and anxious. It's them. If they only did this or they only did that. I need to control the external. You need to control the external so that you can feel happy and peaceful. It's like, no, it's right here. You can be in a state of peace and be surrounded by the apocalypse could be going on outside your door. You can still maintain that vibration of peace because it's all about internal, right? And this is the best way to heal the world, is to get yourself in these states, these higher states of consciousness, and then you're vibrating that out, right? So you're creating an environmental, energetic field for other people to tune into. That's why people go see teachers and gurus and masters and things, because they want to be in their presence. They want to be in the presence of that, right? So you can be that for others. So body awareness, that's a good thing. Like, how am I feeling? Are my feet on the ground? Especially if you're ungrounded and you're like losing things and tripping over things and, right, getting into accidents. Those are all signs that you're ungrounded. Spilling things on the ground. Right away, it's like, I'm not in my body. Feet on the ground. I'm feeling my feet on the ground now, right? I'm bringing my awareness. And that's how you move your awareness around. It's really easy. It's like you can bring your awareness to your big toe. Right now, it's like, okay, I'm aware of my big toe. Aware of my belly. Is my belly relaxed? Am I breathing deeply? Right? Am I slowing down? Right? Slowing down. So that's the secret, is to get in touch with your intuition and your natural intelligence, is to slow down. There's no rush to get anywhere. The ego wants you rushing from one thing to the next because it keeps you out of your power, right? So slowing down your actions, even the way you walk, the way you drive, right? Not be putting him as your authority, the ego. The ego's going to have the to-do list, the never-ending to-do list. Will never end, right? It's always the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, right? So you want to slow down. And this puts you into attuned to the energy, right? Where's the energy right now? Where is the energy right now? You want to be in touch with your subtlety, right? Your subtle body. This is what's going to keep you safe, right? Keep you from harm and danger, as long as you're present in yourself, in your body. It's all there. It's all here inside. Everything that you need is inside you, right? Anything that's telling you that there's something that you need outside of you to feel complete is a big lie. That's that shadow of codependency, right? That we're letting go of for the Aquarian age. And we're still in that, right? Let me see. Yeah, we're still in the 19. That's the shadow of codependency. That one right there. And then the magic. It's all so simple. Life is very, very simple. It's the mind and the ego that make everything complex. Is your breath. So you got your body wherever you go. You don't need any special tools because you're in your body. And you've got your breath wherever you go, right? So breathing long and deep through the nostrils when you're anxious. Because the mind has to obey. And what does the mind obey? The two things it obeys. The gong, right? But you can't carry a big gong. Maybe you can carry a big gong with you everywhere you go. Is the breath. So the mind must obey the breath. So if your mind's racing in an anxious state, causing you stress, right? Can't sleep at night. You can't relax, right? You're crippled. You're almost crippled as a human because you're not in your intuition. You're not in your power. Then you breathe long and deep through the nostrils. And you can count, right? Like maybe start at 5 if you're not used to it. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds exhale. And then do that. And then work up to 10, right? 10 seconds inhale, 10 seconds hold, 10 second exhale. And if your mind is really crazy, then you take your two eyes and you look at the tip of your nose right here, and that focuses the mind. It focuses your optical nerve, and it immediately focuses the mind. It brings it back under your control. You're the one that's in control of this, right? Ego's not in control of you. Ego's in control of you when you're not taking responsibility for your state of consciousness. Right? So it's like people with dogs. When I see an unruly dog, I never go to like, oh, that dog's like the bad apple. That dog's like horrible. That dog is this and that. I go to the owner, right? I go to the owner. Who's the real problem here is the owner not taking responsibility for their pet. So it's like like the ego is like your pet. You have to start taking responsibility for your own ego, right? And it's like putting it on a tight leash, right? On a tight leash. When you find yourself in these stress states, right? And to expand into that. Hopefully that helps. I want to just reiterate just simple things that I don't even really think about anymore myself, right? They just come naturally, but I don't think they come naturally just to everybody. What else was I going to say? And then shadow. Just a quick thing about shadow. This is what my channel's all about. I go into the specifics of shadow, but just general shadow is whatever you see in another person, you're seeing in yourself, right? So if you have conflict with people right now, you need to bring it back to yourself and watch and listen to what is coming out of your mouth, what judgments are coming out of your mouth about that person, right? That person never listens to me. Here's an example. They never listen to me. All they do is talk about themselves. They're not interested in anything I have to say. And you get riled up. That's when you know you're in your shadow. Well, you bring it back to you. And it's like, I don't listen to myself, right? I don't listen to myself. I don't really care about what I have to say, right? And what you're saying here, your shadow, it's showing you your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your divine. So this is just basic shadow work right here. Just to know this will you'll start to grow and evolve really, really quickly, right? So people are mirrors. They show you a reflection of yourself, but they're showing you your connection to your divine. And then it's like, that's why it irks you so much to see your shadow. Because this doesn't want to, the ego doesn't want you going inside. The ego wants you focused on the external, out of your power. This is bringing shadow work, also gets you to this place, right? When you start to own these shadows. Oh, I don't listen to myself. It's true. I don't listen to myself. I need to make time, right? To like journal and meditate and really and quiet my mind and just listen to what I have to say. What does my intuition have to say, right? So those are some examples. I'll continually remind you. I don't like repeating myself, but I think that's the way we learn, is by repetition, right? Yeah. Okay. Who came in here and put a thumbs down sign? It's like I'm having a party, like I've invited all these people over, and then somebody comes in and has a big poop in the middle of the rug, right? Anyway, shame on you, the person who put the thumbs down, right? Negativity's not allowed here. Okay. So, Sunday's HD reading was spot on, right on. Heather, Unbounded Mind, Beyond the Reef. Argentina. Hola. Yeah, timeline craziness. Jennifer's feeling it too. Adi Shakti from Australia, Texas. Collie, Gainsborough, Jennifer, Hillary, Jen from Vancouver Island. Great story. Yeah. I think that's about my work story, the JOB. How can one determine if they're an indigo? Well, we have anger issues. Indigos have anger issues. This is how you know you're an indigo, is in school, in indoctrination school. This was me in elementary school. So somebody raises their hand like a sheep child, right? A non-indigo child. And they ask, why do we have to learn math? And the teacher says, you just have to. You just have to do it. So shut up and do it, basically. The sheep child will just go, oh, okay. And then they just keep doing what they're told. The indigo, if that happens to the indigo, they seethe. The anger comes up inside because we're attuned to any kind of abuse of power. So I've been like that with leaders in so many groups and in school. Like I can sniff out a shadow leader a mile away, and it brings up anger. And the anger is just to show you, right, that boundaries are being overstepped. Yeah, and we're here to point it out as indigos. Point that out. And so emotions, you can't hide them. Right? I've tried to stuff down my emotions. Plus, I'm a North Node in Cancer too, right? Tried to stuff down those emotions all my life, and I could never do it, right? So anger is a really big sign that you're an indigo. But the ones in their 30s, like there's a big swath of them, right? That have come in. You know, and then you got the crystals after that. It's the continual evolution of humanity. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably a website quiz, Jennifer. Yes, there's huge internal shifts. And so we're going to start to see that on the external. I wanted to also show you something before we get into the readings that I found. This. Now, this is from the Business Insider. Right? This. That. So these are the kinds, this is the other timeline. Here's an example of the other timeline that we're on. Right? Where's the other article here? Yeah. Where did it go? This one, right? Business Insider, and then this one. Yeah. Right? So do you see that headline? I'll just put it. Yeah. Where's the Twitter? I guess I'm in the way, aren't I? Yeah. Anyway, they're using there we go. So New York, this is from the New York Times, says humans should embrace cannibalism to fight climate change. Right? So this is the kind of the craziness of the other timeline that we're moving away from. They're trying to offer these ideas, right? To make them more mainstream, these ideas. And it's all about the debasement of human to make us subhuman. And there'll be people that will go along with that. And they don't understand what it's doing to them spiritually. This is what we have to ask ourselves, right? What is this doing to me spiritually? Where's my self-respect, right? Am I going to bend over and get that Q-tip up my butt so they can give me a false test and make, right? Like, it's all about taking the self-respect of humans away. And once you do that, you got them. They're slaves, right? These humans are slaves. So this is the kind of stuff, like when I saw that, I thought, oh, this must be The Onion, right? You know, The Onion that does satirical articles. But it's for real. These are the kind of ideas that they want to implant, right, with people, and then use this climate hoax, right, that's going on. The thing is that all you need to know is we're going through a huge evolution as a humanity, right? We're moving into this new shift in the age of Aquarius. We're evolving as a humanity. We're not regressing, we're evolving. So we're going to see these two species. I talked about this in 2012. We're going to see these two species, human species, this great division. And this is the timeline. Some are still on this timeline, and they'll continue right down this timeline. And then there's others that are on another timeline. As long as you're connected to your soul, right? This is where all our values come from, is our soul. They don't come from our mind and our ego. These values of nobility and integrity and honesty and friendliness and consideration and compassion, all that comes from the soul. So as long as you're connected to your soul, you're going to be like, what? Right? So what the great thing about, great and bad thing about this is we get to be the holy witness of the crumbling, right? The crumbling that's happening, this death and decay that's happening of this old system. But it's also about we're here to build something new too as well, right? So this is what this nodal axis is telling us, is don't get fixated on the decay. That's the decay. Hey, I got a great idea. Let's eat humans. What could go wrong, right? Yeah. And so there may be even family members that are on that timeline that are still on that train going off the cliff. That's where that train's going, off the cliff. And the energy is like, it's like, no, you guys are going over here, right? Quick left on this new timeline to build this new earth. And building the new earth, remember, is like aligning yourself with these higher frequencies. Anyway, I was shocked at that, but I mean, we're gonna be shocked even more because the eclipse season's coming up, and so it's going to be the big reveal. Jupiter retrograde's moving back to Neptune conjunction, so that means more deception. Crazy deception is coming, but as long as you're aligned, you'll be fine. You'll be okay, and be the lighthouse, like I said, like be the lighthouse for other people, and that's not trying to run out in the water and save the ships. Right? It's like staying in your light, staying in your power, and let those people come to you. Don't go trying to save people right now, right? That's not a good use of your energy and time. That don't want saving. They don't want saving. They want to stay on that train that's going off the cliff. And you can't talk them out of it, right? Okay. Yeah, that's when I started feeling the chaos too, Jennifer, was around July 28th. Yeah. Okay. But that's true, big blessings too. It's this rift, right? Heaven and hell, we're in it. And we get to create heaven on earth for ourselves. What'd she say? I know, Jen Isadora Winter. So hard to separate from someone who's choosing another timeline. It breaks my heart, yeah. Because of the attachment is through the heart, right? And so this is about the saying goodbye. It's not with a hatchet, but it's just like this loving them. And just knowing in truth, I mean, we're all ending up in the same place eventually. Some are going by canoe, right? Some are going on the train. Some are taking a car. Some are taking the rocket ship, you know? But we're all ending up in the same place eventually. And their soul contract may not have been that for this lifetime, you know, to go on this new timeline. We just don't know, right? Other people's destiny. What would be a good mantra to best trust for the new timelines? What would be a good mantra for that, for the timeline? I would say the Waheguru, just because I want to get that on my website too. I've got this huge to-do list on my whiteboard. It may be on my YouTube. I'm not sure if somebody could let me know. It's the meditation for cold depression. And so this is the meditation for the gray period, it's called. We're not quite at it. Humanity isn't quite, this is from the ancients, the gift from the ancients. We're not quite out of the Piscean age, but we're not quite into the Aquarian age. We're in this gray period. So a lot of people, this is perfect for the first gate. What they get into what's called cold depression, and this means people are depressed and they don't realize that they're depressed, right? So it's Waheguru. Waheguru is the experience of being merged with the divine. That's what the mantra means, you know, because I could say, this is a cup, right? This is my cup, but the cup, it's like it's removed because I got the word cup, and this is the cup, right? Well, Waheguru is like, if I were to say cup, I would turn into a cup. Do you know what I mean? So Waheguru is like that. It's like, it's a sacred mantra that puts you in the experience of the divine, right? So it's you chant Wa from the navel, He from the heart center, and then Guru from the lips. And then you interlace your fingers, cross your thumbs over, and bring that right underneath your nose, and your eyes are closed. I'm pretty sure that's on my YouTube, but I'll work on that because we're in this nodal axis. This is a really good one to practice, actually. And that will help with the timeline. And what it does, it's like, it's kind of freeing your soul, right? Because the cold depression is like your soul is so constricted and frozen, right? This not there isn't movement of the soul from giving your authority over to your mind for lifetimes and lifetimes. And this is like it melts, like that ice melting that I was talking about, right? It's melting and allowing your soul to be free, right? To be free. But most people will be depressed on the planet, but they won't realize that they are, right? Okay. Yeah. You got to Cheryl, you got to love somebody before you can leave them. You have to love, in order to leave someone, you have to love them. It's not lobbing bombs. I'm so done with them and they're this and they're that and the worst person on the planet. You're never going to leave them. They're going to follow you into the next relationship. They'll be in your psyche, right? You want to leave them completely energetically, and that means forgiving them. Forgiveness. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to some signs. Some signs here and cards. So this is according to the your sun, moon, and rising sign, but it depends on the house system. So these are general reads, so it's always a good idea to watch the one before and then the one after. But look at your sun, moon, and rising. And if one isn't resonating, it's like, oh, Michael, that doesn't really resonate with me. Well, then watch another one. One of these 12 is going to resonate with you for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you mean my video for cold depression? I want to get these things on the website. Okay. Okay. So let's start with Taurus. Why not, eh? So the North Node is in your first house, Taurus, and then the South Node is in your 7th house. And this is about, let me just get this. Okay, these are good. Well, Scorpio, the South Node is in the 7th house. Let me just do some cards so I can just get laser sharp with these readings here. It's in the first house, right? The North Node is in your first house. So this is a big shift in your identity that I've talked about before. It's also about your body too. The appearance of your body is probably going through big shifts if you're a Taurus. And your approach to life is shifting and changing too on this new timeline. And how you're showing up in the world is changing for Taurus. And it's interesting, you got the jealousy card for the ego card. And that's connected. Jealousy is a scorpionic word for sure. So letting go of that partnership, jealousy. Let's see. And I talked about jealousy before. If we go to the root of it, the psychological root of jealousy goes back to a sibling, the birth of a sibling. So this is your brother or your sister, Taurus. There could be some jealousy of your sibling. Your sibling may be in a position that you're not in. Often, right, is the black sheep. If you're on this channel, you're black sheep. Black sheep meaning you're an alchemist for the family unit. You're the kind of the one-off, the different from the rest of your family. There could be jealousy and how you've lived your life. If you made it on this timeline, right? And you've got a sibling that's still on this old timeline, there could be jealousy. Okay. But the 7th house is not just about your partners, right? It's about it's other people. So letting go of what other people think of you, right? Not getting triggered if they're jealous of you. They have some jealousy of you. Because that's what the ego makes up a bunch of stories, right? Of the jealousy. How dare you, Taurus, have this lifestyle, right? That you're free. That maybe you didn't buy into the lies, right? And the deception of the last couple years. You know, that you're doing okay and I'm over here suffering, right? And the thing is, we can't control other people's perception of us, you know? Or their experience of us. To not take it on if people are jealous of you. Okay, what's this one? Is it that one for Taurus? That's 2. Okay. So you got forgiveness. This is a relationship card. Because it's really about you, right? The first house. And where you're going in your life right now. There can be, that's what I'm feeling. There's a projection of jealousy coming at you from other people. So don't take it on, right? They're having their experience of you. You have no control over how people experience you. Right? All your job is to stay in your authenticity and your power and keep shining your life and keep growing and evolving. And really jealousy, if it's coming from the other end, say you're jealous of other people, it's shadow. That's all it is shadow. And all it means is like, I'm jealous of that person that's successful, that's prosperous. What's that telling you? That you have that potential too. You have that potential to be successful and prosperous. That's all it's showing you. So it's the same thing with that other person. Look at it like that too. Like I'm showing them what's inside them, like the good stuff. And they're jealous of it because they're listening to the ego, right? They're not listening to their higher self. So use this. This is a good for everybody. Oh, I didn't get the overlay up for Taurus, did I? It's just easier for me, the timestamp when where is it? When I timestamp. Sorry about that, Taurus. There we go. Yeah. So to use these feelings, that's the thing that the 2 is telling us that too, right? It's the feminine. It's about include everything. Include all the emotions that are coming up for you. Include it all because it's showing you something about yourself and your relationship to your own divinity. So you got the forgiveness card for the medicine. So don't get locked into this jealousy that's coming at you, because it can be expressed not as, say you have a sibling that's jealous of you, right? It won't necessarily be I'm really jealous of your life. I'm really jealous in how you live your life. It's going to come across buried. That will be buried, and there'll be judgment. Like a judgment of you in your life, right? To put you down. Could be that. But you go to your intuition, right? Because what people say is not always the truth, right? You go the deeper. You go deep into your intuition. This is what I do sometimes. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I'll just do that when I'm listening to people, right? Because I'm reading their energy too when I'm listening to them. I'm not just listening to them with my two ears and my brain. And I'll just put a little prayer out, like, what's that person really saying? And then right away, my intuition will go to the clarity, right? And it's like, oh, they're jealous, right? They're jealous of your life, right? But they know deep down that we make choices, especially if you're a black sheep. What you do is you're choosing to leave the status quo, right? And you know what that takes. It takes courage, right? To not to follow the script. And maybe your sibling followed the script, right? But every choice has a consequence. Yeah. But my sense is it's being projected onto you. Okay, what do we got here? So it's about forgiving your sibling or the other person that's jealous of you, and to look beyond, right? To forgive is to overlook, and to see them as a spiritual being, a vulnerable human, right? That's all. Having their thing. Projecting onto you. And then claim your innocence, right? And your innocence is, I'm just living my life. I haven't done anything wrong. I deserve everything that I have in my life right now for the choices that I made. I made these choices. You made those choices. So if you're jealous of other people, right, Taurus, of they have this and they have this money and they have that, it's like they made choices that you didn't make. You made different choices. Okay, it's the timelines again, right? All of our choices put us on particular timelines. Okay. So it's also saying about your to use your strategy. To use your strategy right now. How you show up in the world. So if you're a projector, right, wait to be recognized and invited. If you're a generator, manifesting generator, wait to respond with a yes or no. If you're a reflector, wait for a moon cycle. And then if you're a manifester, wait for divine inspiration that's coming to you, and then initiate. Well, wait for the divine inspiration, inform, tell people what you're doing, tell anybody what you're doing, and then go initiate for Taurus manifestors. Okay, and what's the card here for Taurus? Jealousy. Yeah, this is wanting to be liked, right? I want to be liked by everybody, Taurus says. I don't want people feeling jealous of me. Because that usually is negativity coming at you, right? Okay. We're waiting for the jumper, so we have to relax here. Waiting for the jumper. Okay, Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. Taking a new direction the way they show up. New identity in their life. Okay. That's a lot. That's way too many. Just one is fine. Okay. So it's the Four of Earth. Right there you can see the Four of Pentacles. You can see her, she's sitting on her treasure chest. filing her nails with the 44 in the back. That's funny. 4-4. So this is about control. Control, frugalness. It's about money, right? It's the pentacles. Yeah. Just want to do one more card here for Taurus. Just one more for the Four of Earth, please. There we go. Okay, that's good. So you got the Magician. This is the Manifestor card, the Magician. You can see he's an angel, and he's got all the elements. He's got the four suits, right? Pentacles, swords, cups, and wands. So this is about manifesting for yourself. Yeah. And it's the Four of Earth. So manifestation, empowerment, preparedness. This is saying, just because it's in the first house, Taurus, that you have everything that you need inside you to manifest. This is the source. We're in Taurus. This is your show, right? There's so many planets in Taurus right now. And then the North Node and Uranus, they're there for a while. So it's about manifesting on the material realm, and it's saying that it's coming from you, but you have to be you. You can't manifest from this, right? You can't manifest from the mind and the ego. This is all manipulation and playing the old games. This is all the old ways. You got to compete. You got to hustle and hassle, right? To get what you want. You got to play the game, right? You got to be part of the system. You got to be on this old timeline, right? So this is a gift, right? The Magician. The Magician, and then the Four of Earth is stability too. It's like stability. So getting yourself financially stable through your powers of manifestation. And it's the Magician too, is about preparedness, getting prepared, what you need. So that's a good, thank you, Tarot, for pointing that out for us. That the two, because you always want to look at the channel, right? The two, this is the North Node, is connected to the 14. I have this, the 2-14. This is the channel of the beat. But the 14 is all about your resources and what resources you need, right? For this new timeline, Taurus. So these are this is material, the material resources that you need. So it's saying that this new timeline that you're on is you're going to be doing things a lot differently, and you're going to be more reliant on yourself, right? That's what these cards are saying. Yeah. And clinging to this, because this is also a clinging card, Four of Earth. So clinging to your power of manifestation. Like if I need something, I can manifest it, right? Because I got this, right? I got God's ATM that never closes, Taurus. I am aligned with the source of where all this money. The money doesn't come from the Federal Reserve. The money comes from source. Everything comes from source. Everything comes from this second gate. This is the feminine, right? This is the feminine. Everything comes from there. That's what it's saying here. So don't get jealous of other people. They've got so much wealth, and they've got 3 cars, and they've got 4 houses, and I can barely pay my rent. Like, don't get into that trip, right? Because what you're sending out is, I'm not enough. I'm not the Magician. I'm not enough, right? And that's a big lie. You're this. You're aligned with God. You're aligned with Source. Yeah. And this is the thing with shadow work, right? If you've got somebody throwing jealousy at you, then that means you're jealous about something too, right? It takes 2 to slam dance with shadow work. Yeah. So forgiveness, right? So if you find yourself, this is about awareness, right? The time now is to be self-aware, aware of what's going on in your mind, aware of what's going on in your body, right? The breath, the slowing down, all that stuff that I talked about, right? And then forgiving yourself if you have this mind, because we can be taught this too, right? From our parents, whatever they said, their beliefs about money, you know? We internalize all of that. Money doesn't grow on trees, and then boom, that's a belief system, right? In a child. You got to work hard for what you got. Boom, right? That's in there too. Yeah. So it's about forgiveness, and it's about going into innocence, the vibration of innocence, right? That you have everything that you need is inside of you. If you need resources, they're going to come from inside of you. And this is the time to get innovative, right? About doing your spiritual purpose. Because this 14 is about getting in touch with your passion. We've all come in with a purpose. Our feelings and our passion will show us what that purpose is. And with that purpose comes prosperity and the material resources that we need. Yeah. And then to use your strategy, right? Your human design strategy. Okay. On the new train track, right? Everything's new on the new train track, that we're on this new timeline. All these old ways of being have to go, right? It's like you're in a video, you're playing a game of Monopoly, and then suddenly everything changes. The rules change. Oh, you don't get $200 when you pass go anymore, right? You got to pay $50 when you pass go. Like all the rules are changing, right? For this new timeline that we're on. So you have to be flexible, right? The 14 teaches us that, to be flexible with how we manifest. So that's good for the Taurus. And the Taurus is all about the material world, right? But jealousy, that's what the ego is telling you. Jealous of other people. Okay. Forgiveness goes there, strategy goes there. Okay. Okay, so let's go for Gemini. Gemini, the twins. In the shadow is in the loss, dislocation is in the 12th house. And then the self node is in the 6th house. So let's get the cards, because I like the cards really focus in on for the shadow for me. So something about your work, right? Your day-to-day work, your JOB, if you got one. Something's going through a period of decay there in your 6th house. What's the card for Gemini here? This is going to be a live stream on money. More Earth. I guess it makes sense, eh? Time that we're in with Uranus and Taurus, everything's getting flipped, right? Uranus and Taurus is like changes are on the earth plane, are coming on the earth plane. And like I said before, money holds the frequency of fear for humanity. Oh, that makes sense. So you got the Gemini, you got the 9 of Earth. Okay, so you can see her having her tea out in the garden. And this is the 9 of Pentacles. And this is about self-reliance, financial self-reliance that you've been learning. see here. Okay. And what's the Gemini card here? This one, I only got two. Okay. Okay. So, Gemini got the Nine of Earth. This is the single card too, right? Like, I'm single as a Pringle and happy as a clam, on my own, independent. Got all my pentacles around me, right? All the materials taken care of, the Gemini says. And this is 12th house's completion, right? And it's hiding, which is really interesting. So I laughed, right? Because hiding's so applicable for the 12th house. So this is ending. Your single days are ending. Your hiding days are ending, right? So this is about playing small. We get this card every live stream. Fearing the greatness of your soul and feeling victimized. Feeling victimized. So let's do the other for Gemini, for the Nine of Earth. I feel like it's relationships. Yeah. Okay. So you've been in solitude, right? The 12th house. Gemini, you've been on lockdown. Your own lockdown. What's the other card for the Nine of Earth so we can see where this is going? What's the story telling us? Nine of Earth. Completion. There we go. Oh, okay. So you got some emotions to work through before you move out of this completion stage, and that's the Five of Cups right there. You can see her. She's on her knees crying with the angel behind her. So this is disappointment, regret, forgiveness. The Five of Water, Nine of Earth. Yeah. So feeling victimized and hiding. And the second gate, feeling lost. Okay. Well, it's saying for sure that this period of regret and disappointment is ending for you. Yeah. It's completing. I can't say it's not saying what's ahead for you. That's what's frustrating for me. Yeah. Yeah, period of disappointment, regret in the 12th house for you. This karmic too. All this stuff is karmic. Maybe you had to learn, right, to be self-reliant. That was one of your karmic lessons in this lifetime, you know? This is the thing, right? If we've spent past lives where we've, shirked our responsibilities. Maybe we had families. And we just took off, shirked our responsibilities. Well, the karma in this lifetime, it will be others will abandon you, right? Other karmic partners will abandon you, leaving you in this state of Five of Cups, which is what this is the state that you left other people in past lives. So I feel like the karma is being paid, whatever karma this is being paid, but you've been learning too to be on your own and to take care of yourself. Are there Geminis out there? I'm on Geminis. Jennifer, are you a Gemini? Because you guys are part of this energy, right? Okay. Feeling victimized and hiding. Yeah. Okay. I just want one more card. I don't feel like the whole story's coming. Okay, tell me the story for Gemini. What does Gemini need to see with the 12th house? What's coming after completion? What's coming out of hiding? For sure. Okay. Okay, we got a story here now. So what's after this regret, right? This regret, this disappointment that you've experienced, where you felt victimized, where you've been hiding, and this is all coming to completion. And then you got the Sun card, and that's the happiest card in the tarot deck. And this is about success, recognition, and enthusiasm. So your enthusiasm is going to start to return, right? And the thing with the 12th house is like you've been to school, you know, like all the houses are like grades, you know, it's like there's 12 houses, right? There's 12 grades, and you're graduating. That's what this is saying, Gemini. You're completing with the 12th house, and you're coming out strong, right? You're coming out as the sun. Right? Because what is after the 12th house is the first house, and it's like the new beginning, right? So what it's saying is this train track, you're in the tunnel. That's what I see. It's like, you know, the train goes in the tunnel, and it's like, I don't know, I can barely see the light ahead of me. It seems so dark, and I'm in this 5 of Cups, and I'm crying, and I have all these regrets and disappointments of my life, right? Well, it's saying that the light, you're going to be coming out of the tunnel, right? Through this cycle that we're in right now. You're headed for success and recognition and enthusiasm, that your energy will come back and not get into victim, and get ready to let go of this hiding, right? You're coming out of the tunnel, the 12th house, and you're coming into the sun to be recognized and to show the greatness of your soul, Gemini. That's what I see. But you're coming out with a lot of strength. That's the thing when we go through these lessons, right? Especially the 12th house lessons, because it's ruled by Neptune, right? It's like you're in the middle of the ocean and there's fog around you. You can't really see, but you come out so much stronger, like your faith is so much stronger. And you really have strength in taking care of yourself, right? The 9 of Pentacles. It's all about being able to take care of yourself materially. Like you've got that down, you know? It's just about this forgiveness, whatever you need to forgive, right? Whatever happened to you. Like this is a general read of what your circumstances were, right? That you're alone. Okay. That goes there, and that goes there. That's Gemini. Gemini. I know there's never a dull moment with the Geminis. That's because there's 2 of them. Yeah, the Phoenix rising. Okay. Manifester. Kimberly's a manifester, yeah. Like I said in my last video, manifestors, that's your challenge, right? We all, as types, we all have our challenges. My challenge is waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for an invitation. But manifestors is, and it's easy to get jealous, you know, of the other types. It's like, it would be so easy to be a manifester. All I would have to do is share and inform, but that's me, right? That's not my challenge. Your challenge as a manifester is sharing. So what I say to the manifestors, like swing the other way, overshare, work on just, today I'm going to share. I'm going to share what's going on with me. I'm going to make an effort and I'm going to share. I'm going to start to think about other people and consider other people. And you'll watch the resistance just fall away when you start to operate correctly as your type, right? As a manifestor. Overshare. And then you'll manifest. And manifest. Okay. So let's go for Cancer. Where's Cancer? Let's overlay. Cancer. Cancer the crab is in the 11th house. The North Node's in their 11th house. So that means the South Node is in their 5th house. Okay, and this one for Cancer, I guess. Okay. So you got the renewal card. This is traditionally the judgment in the traditional tarot deck. See, right? Tooting the horn there. Judgment is about bringing something back alive. It's about answering the call of your soul. And it's in your 11th house. Okay. Let's see. What's for Cancer? It's a rebirth. So you got some power struggles and conflict with your friends and your networks. And it's showing you something, right? And the second gate is you're on a different timeline, maybe from some of these old friends, these old networks. Okay. What's this one for Cancer? For Cancer. Protection. It's also about your hopes and dreams too, Cancer. But it's with people, because you've got power struggles with people. So you got to look at where those power struggles are coming from. And again, it's shadow work. Bring it back to yourself. If I'm fighting with somebody, if I'm in conflict with somebody, it means there's an inner conflict within me, right? Because the outer's got to reflect the inner. It's a reflection of what's going on with you. And the conflict is always between this, your ego, and your higher self, Cancer. That's what it's showing you. There we go. Be a reading with the Eight of Pentacles. So that's the Seven of Pentacles, right? The Seven of Pentacles, and that's all about investment, what you're investing in materially. And it's having patience. So it's like, where are you planting your seeds, Cancer? In terms of your friendships, who are you investing in? You know, and this is not just money. You can invest your time and your energy, right, in certain people. So this is saying to reflect on that, to really evaluate that. Like, look at that, where you're planting the seeds. Because you want them to bear fruit, right? You want them to bear fruit. And then you've got this protection card. Protection card. So you may not be feeling protected materially. And this is when we start making bad decisions, when we don't feel protected. And to me, it's like feeling protected materially. If we're not feeling protected materially, if we don't feel like God is in charge and God's taking care of us, then we go to this. we go to the ego, right? This is like the prostitute and the pimp. You know, the pimp tells the prostitute, you need me to protect you from these men and these other people. Meanwhile, this is the real threat. Right here is the pimp, right? The real threat for you is the ego, is listening to the ego. So that's what I feel you're in conflict with. You're trusting this to protect you, like going to your mind and your ego to protect you, instead of going here to your higher self to protect you. This is the big thing, right, with the ego, where we really give our power away is when money's involved, right? When there's money involved. So this is saying you're investing in your ego, right? To not do that anymore and to start investing in this, your soul and your higher self, right? And the 11th house is all about long-term vision too. It's Aquarius. The natural ruler is Aquarius. So looking at the long term, down the road, not these short-term solutions that the ego is. And the ego will tell you to do little tricks, right? Which can make you dishonest and sneaky, right? The ego is very, very sneaky. Oh, just do that. Everybody's doing that, right? Cheating and lying and all that stuff. That's what I see for Cancer. And you've got to answer the call. And that's the call of your soul. Your soul is calling you to something that you need to invest in. You need to invest in your soul purpose. And let these conflicts go with people. Right? This is how the ego keeps us distracted from our soul purpose, right? Keeps us in conflict, fighting with people. Because that's its food. Ego needs conflict to eat, to survive. You're going to starve the ego. Okay, so yeah, that's the second gate of unity and orientation and direction of self is taking you somewhere new, and it's very future oriented, and it's bringing you into unity, not conflict. Conflict isn't unity. It's a power struggle between you and God. It has nothing to do with your friends or your social networks. Okay. That's for Cancer. And that goes there, and that goes here. Getting lots of the Pentacles. What are you investing in now on your new timeline? Are you investing in the Aquarian age or this old way, this old Piscean age consciousness that's dying, right? And it's also connected because it's the South Node is in your 5th house, so it's right in the 5th house is usually traditionally ruled by Leo, and that's your creativity, and it's like me. It's all about me, and you got to let that go and start looking big to the collective. We can't go there anymore. It's not me anymore. It's not the language of me. We're shifting from the language of me to the language of we, right? That's the 11th house is we. So to let that go, right? That's about letting that go. Because Scorpio wants to cling. It's my art. It's my creativity. And everybody else should come to me because I'm so great. It's like, no, how does it fit into the whole? These are the questions you have to start asking yourself. How does it serve humanity? So you have to start thinking of other people, right? It's just a whole paradigm shift that we're going through, Cancer. Okay, Leo. And Leo, we know, is in the 10th house. So big, huge shifts and changes going on in the 10th house for Leo. And letting the 4th house go. The 4th house stuff go. So that's the emotions. Getting weighed down and stopped by your emotions. Or needing emotional stability to move forward. Cancer can be that too. Cancer is the traditional ruler of the 4th house. Right? I need to feel emotionally secure. I need to feel emotionally secure before I go out in the world. Needing my home in order and things like that. That's the thing. When you go for your North Node, this is the paradox, is when you go to the North Node, wherever your North Node compass is leading you, then that thing you're leaving behind, it seems like you're leaving behind, but it actually all falls into place, you know? So if you go for your sole purpose, then your home will be taken care of. This home life that you want will be taken care of. Okay, what is ego? What has Leo's got to hear here? Okay. So Leo got the 4 of water. This is distractions. Distractions. It's also the ingratitude card, like not having gratitude for what you have, like focused on what you don't have. So this would be like pointing, like I don't have this emotional stability. I don't have this home life that I want. I don't have this perfect home that I want, you know? Focusing on what's missing instead of what you have. And that's what prosperity is, right? It's gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. Focusing on what you do have. And then what's for Leo here? You have to watch the dishonesty. The dishonesty, isn't that interesting? Because I just talked about dishonesty. Okay, so we got the Knight of Swords, communication, right? This is the Knight of Air. You can see here with the sword. The swords represent the intellect. So the Knight of Swords is like, jumps in, is very mind oriented, determined, very, very motivated, the Knight of Air. It's like going for it, and I'll think about other things later. And then you've got the 4 of water, that's really interesting. And then the dishonesty card. So this is the give to take, right? Dishonesty. The ego tells you to be dishonest. Right? Well, you better say that, right? That person really wants to, like having a hidden agenda. Well, that person really wants to hear this. Leos are very charming, right? Leos can be very charming people. But that's the shadow of Leo, right? Can use that charm in a manipulative way. So playing the predator-victim game. So this dishonesty. So listening to the ego to like not being fully in integrity. This is what this is saying. Yeah. And maybe wanting to get this need met, right? This emotional need met. That, oh, look at those 3 cups, right? He's staring at those 3 empty cups. Meanwhile, there's this beautiful cup coming from the divine that he can't even see. And it's the 10th house. So to me, he's focused too much. Leo, you're too much focused on this 4th house stuff that's missing in your 4th house, your area of home. This has to do with your mother too. The 4th house is the mother. Trying to get your needs met, right? And this is what we do when we don't get our needs met as children. Then this child inside of us that never grows up, the wounded child, is trying to get their needs met through another person, right? And this completely goes against the Aquarian age, which is you have everything that you need is inside you, right? So you have to fulfill your own emotional needs. That's what I see here. So a good way to look at this is the mirror card. Recognize the other person as you. That's one of the sutras for the Aquarian age. Yeah. This is the golden rule too, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I see that too. You don't want somebody manipulating you and being dishonest with you. So if you're attracting this to you, like people being dishonest, and you can feel it inside you, and maybe you are very spiritually aware and believe that, I'm being completely honest. Yeah, of course I'm being completely honest. It's them that they're being dishonest with me. Well, this is saying no. This is saying this person is showing you something. If you see somebody being dishonest and manipulative to you, towards you, that means there's some place in you that you're not being honest with yourself, right? So what we see in others, we see it's in us too, right? So you go back to it's about your relationship with yourself, your divine self. It's like, where am I being dishonest with my divine self, right? Where am I being dishonest? Where am I being like slippery and sneaky, right? This is the great thing about people, right? Because these shadows we can't see, right? Remember with Leo's ruled by the sun. The sun can't see itself. The sun needs the moon, right? To see that reflection back. This is the other person. Yeah. So you're going to see it in a fourth house person, right? Somebody that maybe is emotionally attached to you, or, you know, just to watch that in terms of your relationships. Yeah. And the Knight of Air is be determined. Yes, be determined and motivated in your North Node. Focus on the North Node stuff, right? And that's focusing on your career. Yeah. Focusing on your career and less on the fourth house, your home and your emotional stability, right? In your home life. That's what this is saying. Because this is just a big distraction, right? This is a big distraction from the ego, getting distracted, getting self-absorbed, right? This is the self-absorption card. This is going into the closet, and your closet's filled with clothes, and it's like the diva, right? Like, I don't have a thing to wear. It's like filled with tons and tons of clothes, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're indulging. That's Leo, you're indulging in what's missing, your emotions and your emotional life, and missing out on that cup coming. Right? And that's in your 10th house. That's your career. So focus on the career and your soul purpose, and all of this will take care of itself, right? All these emotional needs and stuff will take care of itself. Don't listen to the ego. Oh, you've got to get this need met, this emotional need, and then you're wasting all this time and energy away from your soul purpose, away from your North Node. Do you see how the ego can distract us? This is about distraction, right? Distracting you from your soul purpose. So it's time to embrace this Knight of Air, right? Leave the dishonesty and the Four of Cups and manipulating and trying to get all your needs met through the ego, right? And then go. And if you're seeing dishonest people in yourself, it's like, okay, I got to check myself. Am I fully in integrity right now? This is what we have to do, right? To manage our consciousness. We have to be brutally honest with ourselves, and we have the mirror, and the other people in our lives are our mirror. And then go for this Knight of Swords. I'm going for it. North Node, right? In my career, in my soul purpose, my public life. This is the train track I'm on. I'm not going back on this other timeline I've been on, indulging in my emotions, playing games, trying to get my needs met. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. I love what this stuff reveals, eh? Yeah. Okay, let's do this and this. Four of Cups, right? You don't want to miss the opportunity for your soul purpose. Stay on this timeline, right? Don't go, because it's tempting to go, because we can go back. If you want, you can go back to that other timeline if you want. And this is leading you back to that other timeline, this and the ego. Right? You're not ready. You know the games the ego tells you to get you out of your soul purpose. Oh, you're not ready yet. You need this and you need that. And it never ends what you need. Knight of Swords is saying, forget. Knight of Swords is not like, oh, I need this and I need that and my saddle and I need this and the special shoes for my horse and the special armor on. It's like the Knight of Air is like goes, hops on the horse and just goes. So that's about being determined and motivated. And remembering why you're here, Leo, right? Not to indulge in your emotions and what's missing in your life and getting on the pity potty, right? That's the pity potty card. Okay. Let's go for Virgo. Virgo. Yeah. Okay. I love Leos, right? I'm a double Leo, but the shadow of Leo can be tricky. Okay. You got to keep yourself in check as a Leo. Okay, where are we now? Virgo. The organizers. And they're in the 9th house, right? 12, 11, 10, 9. The 9th house and the 3rd house for Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. That's the story. That's the 9th house is your storyline. So you're on a new train track, Virgo. New stories for you. They're going to bring optimism. And letting go of the 3rd house stuff. I feel like your thinking is getting elevated, more expanded, you know? Letting go of the small-mindedness. Getting caught up in the details, right? That's Virgo. Getting caught up in the minutia. Seeing all the trees, but they can't see the forest. And then the train track's taking you to somewhere elevated. It's taking you up the mountain now, Virgo. So you can see the big picture. Okay. What's Virgo saying here? Okay. Okay. I just want to do one more. You got the 10 of fire. That will be the 10 of wands. Can you see her? And all the dishes behind her and the cooking and cleaning she's done, right? The 10 of fire. Overworked, stressed, and balanced. That's the burden card, right? The traditional is he's carrying the 10 of sticks. Just stressed out and overworked. You're changing that story now. And this is getting caught up in the minutia, you know, of life. I've got to do this, and I have this fire to put out, and then this fire to put out. The little fires and stresses of life, Virgo. That you can't see the bigger picture of how you're creating this, basically, right? How you're just like a ping pong pinball, you know, pinball machines, remember them? The ball just banging around from one to the next, not in your center. Okay, do we have another card for Virgo here in the 9th house? And Virgos are hard workers. Oh, interesting. Okay. And then you got the Justice card. And that's the law, so that's interesting because the 9th house rules the law too. So you're learning about the law. Okay. And you got rejection. You got the rejection card in the 9th house. It's karmic too. The Justice card is karmic. It's bringing things into balance. So things are coming into balance for you. And it's telling you too to be a nobody, which means like drop your identities, some identities that you have that are falling away. related to the third house, so who you think you are, right? What identity you think you are. Yeah. And reject it. Rejection. So fear of rejection. Fear of rejection if I change this, change my identity as the, I do all this work for other people, right? Virgos are the fixers. I do all this for other people. I'm overworked, I'm stressed, I'm imbalanced, right? And the Justice card is saying that's got to end, right? This is out of balance. Right? The energies right now are not going to support us moving away from our center and being in this energy right here. We are not going to be supported in that anymore, right? We have to go to this, our true identity now, and expand, right? So it's time, Virgos, to drop this old identity of the workaholic and that I've got to do everything. I got to fix everything. I got to fix everybody. Right? It's about dropping that and expanding your thinking in the way that you see yourself, you know, that you're much more than the slave here. That's a slave. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Which I talk about often with the ego, because the ego is like Velcro. It needs to stick onto something. It needs to stick onto something as an identity. And as soon as an identity is formed, the ego has to defend it, right? So if you have no identity, if you're not attached to any identity, then you've got nothing to defend, right? You're free. This is what freedom is. So you're feeling rejection if you change, right? But you're being forced to change in this new timeline. Yeah. And the rejection is just about, again, right? Use this as a mirror. Oh, people are rejecting me. It means I'm rejecting myself. I'm rejecting that authentic self that doesn't want to be a slave anymore, right? That doesn't want to be taking on the burdens of others and fixing other people all the time, right? It's about listening to yourself. If somebody's rejecting you, then you're rejecting yourself, right? That's how it works. So this is saying it's all coming into balance. Karma is being paid, right? Everything is being paid with the ninth house. And you're creating bigger, more optimistic. Does she look optimistic? She's exhausted. She's totally exhausted, right? With how she's been living her life. She's not optimistic. There's no room, there's no energy to even to look out. Like, where am I going? It's all about long-term vision now. Yeah. Yeah. I would look at your siblings too, right? With this rejection. Just explore that a little bit too, Virgo. Where this 10 of Wands is coming from. Yeah, you can end up feeling used, Virgo. Eh? Especially when you're exhausted. Here's the thing, if you're going by inspired action, because remember we have to embrace the feminine way now with the North Node, the feminine way, right? You'll know when you're operating correctly, especially if you go to your type. So if you're a manifesting generator, you're going to feel fulfilled, right? If you're a generator. You're going to feel frustrated if you're not operating correctly. As a manifester, you're going to feel angry, right? Because you're not operating correctly. A projector, you're going to be bitter. A reflector, you're going to be disappointed. Those are all signs that you're not operating correctly. This is really for the manifesting generator and generator, though. This is the exhaustion card. It's not using your life force energy in a way. And it's trying to do everybody's work for them, right? Trying to prevent them from learning their lessons, and it's a big distraction, right, from you and the new storyline that you're on. You don't know what it is because it's saying to be a nobody, right? To let go. And the thing is that there's nothing to fix in the world, right? There's nothing to fix. Everything is perfect because it's just a mirror of our consciousness. That's all it is. If we want to change the reflection, we change ourselves, right? So there's nothing to fix. If you want to fix anything, go inside and work on yourself, you know? Why am I so bent on exhausting myself? Why? Why? Where does this come from? Well, go to your third house, which is your siblings. Like, start there. Okay. There's Virgo. Virgo. Okay. Jen Goodwin's giving her thumbs up with the bakery. That'd be a dangerous place for me to be working. I love bakeries. Just like I'm just smelling. I just hear the word bakery and all of a sudden I smell bread. Okay. So let's go for Libra. Libra. Sun, moon, rising happening in the dreaded 8th house. The 8th and the 2nd, so we're talking money for Libra. Talking coin. Those are the coin houses. So this is taking you to new partnerships. Can be taking you to new partnerships. This is like sexual relationships. So it can be taking you to a new marriage. This train track could be taking you to, this new timeline could be taking you to places where you need to go in to heal, right? There's all those phobias and fears, like deep, deep fears that you don't want to deal with, Libras. And also about letting go of what's not working in the 2nd house, which is your money. Like what's not working for you. What's going away. What's being transformed because of Scorpio. It's focusing on your healing, not your finances. Okay. And asking you to merge too. Right? Merge with a person. That means trust. Merge your resources with someone else. Okay. What do we got for Libra? What do we got for Libra here? The shadow of lost in the 8th house. Such a deep healing house, right? The 8th house. That's where the shadow lives, the 8th house. Okay, what do we got for Libra? What do we got for the Libra in the 8th house? What's going on for Libra? Okay. Uranus in there too. Uranus in the North Node. More pentacles, so that's no. So it's money, of course, it's money. So 5 of Earth, we've gotten this before. You see there's she's outside and there's the angel inside, opening up the door. And this is about the traditional card of 2 figures outside, out in the cold, right? This is poverty. It's the poverty card. So we're looking at, ancestral stuff here. Yeah, there we go. So lack, worry, no support. Libra can feel that in the 8th house. This is a good one for Libra. Anger. Their opposite sign, Aries, is really good at this. Anger, but Libras aren't so good at anger. Expressing anger. So there can be anger towards your marriage partner that you already have, right? Coming up. And again, it's using the partner as a mirror. Why am I so angry at my partner? Maybe she or he is putting me in the state of poverty, putting me like in the, not necessarily literally, maybe literally, draining your bank account, but it could be putting you in just in a scarcity consciousness, right? Because that's what this is about, scarcity, angry at that, the 8th house. And it's about patience. It's saying to be patient with this process. Because the 8th house also is about beginnings and endings, right? Something is ending with the 8th house. It's also other people's money, so it could be like, government, tax problems, inheritances, things like that. Let's see the other card here. And again, Libra, you don't want to be listening to the ego, right? This is the ego whispering in your ear about how you have to cling on to your finances, your money. It's my money, They're taking my money. Or I'm not giving my money. I'm not going to give it. It's mine. It's mine. The thing with the time that we're in right now, we need each other. That's that's part of this. I think that's why God invented work. It's like to trick us all to come together. Right? To where otherwise we wouldn't. Because sometimes you meet people in the workplace and it's like, I would never meet this person in a million years or choose to even talk to them for 10 minutes. Right? If I ran into them at the park or something, right? But God is forcing these people together to work. So you got the 9 of water, which is the 9 of cups. This is wish fulfillment. It's happiness. Yeah. So it feels like, to me, this letting go, you've got to let go of the second house, because the South Node you got to move away from, right? You're moving away from this, numbness and feeling low with second house matters, and it's related to this 5 of Pentacles, worrying about money, Libra, and making you angry because you're listening to him. He doesn't know anything what he's talking about at all. The ego has no idea what he's talking about to you. And so this can bring up, it can create anger in you, because this is about misunderstandings. Anger is about misunderstandings about what's going on. So get on the train track, whatever timeline you're on, and be patient with this process. I feel like this has ancestral too, like bringing up money issues for you. That's probably handed down from your ancestral line for you to clear up. Yeah. But there's a power struggle. So this is the thing. We can't allow the external world to dictate where we are in our consciousness. Right? It doesn't matter what you see on the external world. First and foremost, you want to be staying in this state of consciousness. Right? And this is the trick of the ego wants you down here. The ego doesn't want you up here, because the ego gets really, really small. Right? And then it's saying to focus on the 9 of Cups, which is your happiness. Just focus on your happiness. So Libra, don't focus on this, anger, right? Don't focus on anger. Don't focus on lack. What's lacking, whatever the ego is telling you, right? You're missing this in your life. You don't have this in your life. It's all about money, 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 material. Focus on your happiness, right? What makes you happy, and be patient with your process, because that's my sense, is you're going through a deep healing and it's ancestral. Yeah. Because worrying is using your creative being, right? As humans, we're very, very creative. So to take worry is like a misuse of our creativity, because that's what you're creating. You're just going to create more and more scenarios where there's more worry, there's more lack, there's more scarcity, right? So it's to be patient with this new timeline and to focus on your happiness, and everything's going to work out, right? Yeah. And look at this. Like, don't focus on it, but just do a, anger, 5 of earth. That's saying, I can't depend on God. God's not taking care of me. I'm getting angry about that. Like, to really explore that, right? That's something that's some program that's not aligned with this new timeline that you're on. This is the old timeline, scarcity and lack. Yeah. But it's playing through your other people, right? It's codependency to the 8th house. So it could be your feeling like your marriage partner has some kind of control over you in your money situation. But it's not true. It's an illusion. Okay. And remember, the money, the moolah, it's all coming from here. It's coming from the self. To trust that. We want to be 100% trusting in the divine, 100%, not just 5 days a week. We want to be 24/7, right? Trusting in the divine. That's this North Node is showing us that. Okay. Scorpio, the Scorpions. It's going to be taking place in their 7th house of partnership. The new train track has taken them to partnership. Their partnerships. New and improved partnerships for Scorpios. Okay. Oh, goodness. You got the 4 of water, so that was like Leo. Scorpio and Leo have a connection. So, to me, it's you got a missed opportunity here, Scorpio. Someone's there in your life. Someone is in your life, right? Giving you a cup, and you're focused on those 3 X's, right? Or those people that didn't work out in your life, right? The 3 empty cups. Well, that person, I really like them, and they didn't like me back. Oh, that ex betrayed me, left me for somebody else, right? This other ex, it was a nightmare. They were an alcoholic, and I was an enabler, and like focused on all the things that are wrong, right? And meanwhile, there's someone in your life giving you a cup, full cup of their love, right there, right? So you're getting distracted, and you're getting self-absorbed. Like absorbed in your own self. That's what's in saying, to let that go. With the South Node to North Node, let that go. Focus on this partner, right? Focus on this new partner. Let's get the other card, because you got the Queen of Swords here. So this is saying to get out of your emotionals. Get out of your emotional pity potty, right? The 4 of Cups is the pity potty. And get into the Queen of Air. The Queen of Swords is, takes care of herself and can set a boundary. Can set boundaries. With the Emperor, that's the divine masculine. So you may have attracted a divine masculine to you. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, right? Because the man can embody the divine feminine. It's usually not the case, but that can happen, right? But you've brought the divine masculine to you. Anger. Oh, that doesn't sound like a Scorpio. Scorpios never get angry. I'm being facetious. I've spent many time times with Scorpios. It's part of their intensity. So there can be anger at these exes. Like I said before at the beginning, you can't leave someone until you love them, right? So if this person here, Scorpio, if you're focused on these 3 cups that didn't work out, all these relationships that didn't work out for you, right? You're angry at them, and it's making you miss out on this, right? Because the ego's never going to let you say it. The ego will never say, you're distracting yourself. Look at that other person, look at that divine masculine over there. Look, do you notice? No, the ego will never tell you that. The ego wants you focused on those relationships that didn't work out, getting you angry and riled up about it. So it's really, I feel like it's telling you to get out of your emotions when it comes to your partnerships that are coming in. Okay. This one, I guess, Judgment. Okay, well, we got to get a good card well, the Emperor is good. And the Queen of Air. So maybe saying for you to become more of the Queen of Air, which is you can be, like there's the difference, right, with emotionality and being in your feelings. What I'm talking about when we talk about the evolution, right, from the mental awareness system down to the solar plexus awareness system, it's not emotionality, and emotionality is not going the full way down, not transmuting those emotions fully. It's staying in the surface of the emotions. I'm always going to be angry. I'm angry, and I'm listening to the ego, right, telling me this is why I have every right to be angry. And you got the Judgment card too, right? Like judging other people. You don't go to the bottom. And the bottom is where the transmutation happens, and that's to feel it. Fear, right? Anger, fear, grief. You got to go to the grief. So you got to start grieving these exes, and that will make room for the new to come in, right? This new divine masculine energy. Okay. This one right here. And that's going to give you freedom. Oh, can I ban them? Yay. Awesome. I just banned them quickly. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's get back on track here. So freedom. Freedom. That's what you want. Okay. Freedom. So freedom is what you get. So to me, it's about stop focusing on the past. Okay. And what didn't work in the past, in your past relationships, because we're on a whole new timeline right now. And that's what this Emperor energy is telling you too, right? And to let go, not let the ego trick you into this anger, because that's going to keep you in the old timeline, right? It's going to keep you in this old timeline. Here, you want to be on the new timeline. So I would say do the emotional work, and this will get you to the Queen of Swords. Right? And that's where I'm able to set a boundary, because you may have had boundary issues with your past relationships, like allowing others to overstep your boundaries, right? And go to that. It's about mental clarity. It's about mental clarity now. And this is going to give you freedom, right? Freedom. And discernment. If I look at judgment, the higher frequency of judgments is discernment. Yeah. So it's about you maturing, Scorpio. That's what I see. Emotional maturation. So use like, okay, who am I judging from my past relationships? Who am I still angry with? Because I'm not seeing some opportunity that's in my life right now, this divine masculine energy is around you, right? It's around you somewhere wanting to get in. That's what I would do. And just do the emotional work, transmute it. So that means just feeling it. It's like I'm going to allow a space. I'm going to feel the anger, but I'm going to see what's underneath the anger. I'm not going to just stay there. I'm going to like feel it, right? And there's always fear. There's always grief under that. And really what we're angry at is that we're angry at ourselves. That's where it goes to. You're not really angry at that other person. You're angry at yourself for allowing them to overstep your boundaries or whatever they did in your past relationships, right? And then you just let that go, and then you're out of this space and you move into this space, the greater awareness, when you have those emotional breakthroughs, right? But it looks good, and get out, it's letting go of this 4 Cups energy with like total self-absorption on yourself, right? That's keeping you trapped, keeping you out of freedom. Okay. That goes there. Goes there. Fear goes there. There, that goes there. Okay. The Sagittarians. The Centaurs. There we go, Sagittarius. And that is going to be 6th house. It's going to be in the 6th house of your work. New timeline happening for your work. You may be changing jobs unexpectedly. So the 6th and the 12th. So you may have spent a lot of time alone, right? Maybe with the lockdown, you've been unemployed, or right? Or you've been in a job where you've been working alone. You've been in solitude more, kind of behind the scenes. And now the new train track is taking you out of the tunnel, and you're more visible. People have access to you now. Let's see what's going to happen here. You can feel a little bit lost. It's always right when we come into the new. It's always a little uncomfortable. Think of when you learn to drive or you learn to ride a bike. It's always a little bit uncomfortable at first, isn't it? And then you just get used to it. You adapt. That's one of the gifts of the human, is we're very adaptable, and we can learn. We can learn quickly. But that can bring up fear, right? It's like the 6 lines when they've got to come down off the roof. Right? It's like scary times. Oh, goodness, there's no pentacles for the Sagittarius. Oh, there is. Everyone's getting a pentacle. I didn't see that card. So you got the Hermit. So that's about letting go of the Hermit. And that's the 12th house, being alone. Right? Just learning all about yourself and your solitude and your own energy. God doesn't want us alone, doesn't want us in isolation, and that's what we're leaving behind, right? With this one, this is about isolation. Oh, there it is, isolation. Yeah. Because the thing with shadow work, when you're isolated and alone, it's really easy to hide from your shadow. When you're with people, that's when you get to see it, because the mirror is there. You can't see yourself when you're alone. And then you've got, okay, this one here for Sagittarius. Sagittarians have been going through the dark night of the soul. That's coming to an end. Going through the dark night of the soul. So letting go of this dark night of the soul energy. And trusting that being alone, because the ego Sagittarius will tell you that you're safe when you're alone. Right? You're in danger when you're with other people. It's not true. Sagittarius, they're the teachers, right? The spiritual teachers. They're the wise ones in the zodiac. Okay. This one here. Oh, saying to use your strategy, your human design strategy. To stay safe. I feel like this is about safety and protection here. So coming out of the Hermit. Coming out of this dark night of the soul. Like the dark night of the soul is really about having an ego death. Right? In the 12th house, that's perfect for the 12th house because it's the traditional, it was the traditional title of the 12th house was self-undoing, right? And that's the ego, right? It's like an ego death, and that's what the dark night of the soul is. So you could be a little gun shy about coming into the 6th house, right? A little gun shy. And then it's saying the King of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. There we go. So the Page of Pentacles, do you see him? He's like, he's got the sweater, Mr. Cheery, right? He's got a letter with his hand because that's a message, right? It's a message coming to you about the 6th house. So you may be already on that timeline. You got an offer, some kind of job offer to trust, right? Don't go into this, no, I can't, right? I have to stay the hermit. I have to stay isolated and alone. It's like, no, if the train track is taking you there, you're on a new train track in terms of work, then you're supposed to be there. So it's saying, too, that you're going to learn something. You're going to learn some new things. And Sagittarius, they're the teachers, but also they love to learn. Good teacher is a good student, right? A good student is a good teacher. And then the King of Water. So it feels like this could be a person that you're going to meet in your workplace, right? That you've been on this new train track and you're going to meet someone at work, right? The King, this could be the Queen of Cups too, if you want. If you're into women or men. So King of Cups could be a new partner. So this is a man or woman that's very in touch with their emotions, like balanced. Right? Very intuitive, understanding, heart-centered, but not emotional doormat, you know, like emotionally intelligent. That's what that's saying. And how will you know if they're correct for you? Use your strategy. So you got to know your human design type. So go to jovianarchive.com, get your free chart. I always have it in the link in my information box. So if you're a manifester, right? And you've met this King of Cups or Queen of Cups in your workplace, right? And you're drawn to them. You get the divine inspiration, like he's your guy, right? He or she. Then you tell somebody, you tell your friend, your sister, hey, I met this guy. He's awesome in my workplace. I met this woman. She's awesome. I'm really attracted to her, and she's so different, or he's so different than I'm usually used to dating. Like they're in their hearts, and they actually care, and they're kind, right? You tell your friends, your siblings, and then you go initiate and manifest that person, right? That's how it works for the manifestors. And then if you're projector, you see this, that same person. If you're a projector, then you wait. And you wait for that King of Cups or Queen of Cups to come to you and say, wow, you're an amazing person. Like, you've got such a great sense of humor and, right? And you're so wise and you're so kind and compassionate. let's go out on a date, right? And then that's, you're recognized, you're invited, and then if you feel the yes, let's do it. And then if you're a manifesting generator, you wait to respond to that person. So that person is coming to you with with something. So it could be like, who wants to go out to lunch today? And your sacral is yes, right? Your sacral screaming yes at the top of its lungs. And then you go, I'll go, right? And then with the moon cycle reflector, you got to wait. You got to wait even longer, right? A whole moon cycle. That person's got to court you. So you got to trust your aura, right? You have to trust your aura. That's what that's saying here. But some offers coming to the Sagittarians. So this is where you can't go wrong, right? That you're on this new timeline. Yeah. That's what I feel. Yeah, I feel strongly it's that. Okay, that's for the Sagittarians. We're so blessed to have human design, aren't we? I know it's challenging, right? But all my experiences when I've waited for the invitation, that's when the energy is just like, yeah, those were the times where I felt the most successful. Oh, that was the time that things just kind of blew up, right? When I went against my type. And I've done it, and I know better, right? I know better. Okay. Let's go for Capricorn. Those hard-working goats. Remember, Capricorn, March 2023. Put this in your iCal. Put it in your phone as a reminder. Pluto moves out of Capricorn. And it moves into Aquarius. That means it's off your ass, right? Pluto is off. The thumb is off your head for transforming you, pressuring you since 2008. Okay. Is it the 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So the new train track is heading into your 5th house, which is your children, if you're a mother or father, a parent. Some new timeline is happening for your child, maybe. They're being shooed off somewhere else. A new school or leaving the nest. So it's happening with the 11 and the 5th. So this is about letting go of some friends, right? Some friends that you've been friends with. They're going. Let's see for the Capricorns. What do we got for the Capricorns? Capricorns go through a lot anyway with their friendships, right? Wherever Scorpio is, they come and go. Okay, but it's taking your focus off your friendships. That's what that's saying. Putting it more in the 5th house stuff. So that's your child. Your child's still living at home. Your child may need more of your attention. It's also your romantic life. Putting more of a focus innings of a new relationship. Or your creativity too. You got a new timeline happening in romance. Okay, what does the Capricorn got to see here? We got the Capricorn. Oh, I can feel one wants to jump here. Where's the Capricorn? Not isolating with your friends. You may have been in isolation with some friends. you know? Sticking with some friends that really have outgrown. Maybe they're on a different timeline than you now. It's about letting the past go, right? So letting these past friends go. And if any friends do come in for you, they got to be fresh, right? They got to be new. They got to be completely new. Wow, Capricorn is keeping some secrets here. I always know there's secrets when it takes a long time for a jumper. Okay, Capricorn, what's going on with you? What's going on with you, Capricorn? Let's be patient. Patient with the Capricorn. Oh. Okay, I'll take these. Of course, 6 of Earth, 6 of Pentacles, and the Emperor. So you got some Scorpio connection here. 6 of Earth. I think every sign got a pentacle now, right? Okay. Okay. So 6 of Earth is a balance of give and take. So it's relationship oriented, and you got the Emperor. This means you got a divine masculine in your house of romance, like Scorpio had it in the 7th house. That partnership, you got a divine masculine energy around you. Okay. Right? That's balanced. Right? That's balanced. 6 of Pentacles. That means that the other person isn't giving too much and you're taking too much. It means that you're both giving and receiving. I like that word better. Giving and receiving equally. And it's the divine masculine. Okay. Let's see what we got here for the ego card. For the Capricorns. Here's for the Capricorns. Stuck. Ooh, the ego's telling you some stuck stories. So this is feeling stuck in the romance department. It's also your inner child. So this is what's keeping you from. This is amazing relationship waiting for you on your new timeline. And it's your inner child. Your inner child's calling for your attention. So it's the refusal to grow up, right? And this is like listening to the ego. Yeah. Okay, so you got the unlearning card and then stuck here. So the new timeline's brought you to the divine masculine, the equal give and take. This looks really, really good for you, Capricorn, for this new timeline for you. But then you got these, right? So you got this stuck. This is a refusal to grow up. It's identifying with childhood trauma, childhood pain, and it's in your 5th house too. So if you want to keep going down that train track, you got to deal with some inner child stuff, right? So this either makes you stay withdrawn with your friends that you've outgrown a long, long time ago, like keeping you in victim, keeping you stuck, right? Keeping you stuck. Because they're identifying with their childhood trauma too, right? Or you become controlling yourself. You can become overly controlling, and it's all about trying to control the emotions that are coming up. And there's nothing like love, right? The divine masculine's filled with love, divine love, right? Looking for his divine feminine, attracted to his divine feminine. And nothing gets that energy, right? It brings up inner child stuff. That's the point. so that you grow up emotionally. It's about emotionally maturing. So it's about unlearning. This is the medicine. So you're unlearning something that you saw when you were growing up. And this could be like, you know, because our blueprint, to bring it back to relationships, our blueprints, our original blueprint for a relationship is our parents, right? Our mother and our father. So if you saw how your mother and your father interacted, there was none of this. There was no divine masculine, right? The masculine was weak. The masculine could have been weak. The feminine weak. So the weak masculine is controlling, like really, really controlling. And what else is the weak? Like a bully, right? Bullying, domineering, right? That would be the weak masculine. Not a leader, right? Not a leader. Needing constant validation, things like that. Maybe he's a narcissist, your father, right? Well, this is going to affect this. And then you learn that this isn't, there's no such thing as this. It's I have to give. This is how these things happen, right? In terms of our relationships, I'm taught like I have to give and give and give and give and give because that's what my mother did, right? That's just how relationships work. Or that person cheats, that my father cheated on my mother, didn't respect her, right? So then I attract a person that does that to me, right? So it's about unlearning, right? You're on a new train. You're on a new timeline now, Capricorn, right? So it's about unlearning and dropping this baggage that you're trying to put on. It's like you're on the new train, right? And you got all that baggage behind you that you took on that train with you. It's like I got all this baggage from that old timeline, that old train track I was on. And the universe is saying, get rid of that. Throw it out the window. You don't need this anymore. This is keeping you stuck, right? Keeping that train from moving forward. That's what I see here. So it's unlearning. That's all it is. You just learn these things. And it's keeping you stuck. That you can break. This is the thing with the timelines. We can break these patterns from our ancestors, our ancestral line. We can break that. That's what we're here to do. This is what the first is about. You know? Right here. If you have that in your chart, I have the 1. I've got the 1-8, like I said. If you got the first gate, you're here to break that for sure. Those genetic codes that were passed down to you, right? These negative shadow codes, right? In terms of this is relationship patterns that you're breaking and letting go of. Yeah. So stop listening to your friends. That's what I see there because it's in the 11th house. Keeping you here, keeping you stuck, right? Don't surround yourself with victims. That's the worst thing you can do because you become the 5 people that you hang around with the most. You become them. You're the same frequency. You want higher frequency people. So it's really telling me, Capricorn, to go for the relationship. Go for this Emperor energy. It's waiting for you, right? It's waiting for you, but it's going to bring up some childhood issues for you to deal with. But you don't need to be perfect to get into a relationship. That's not the point. You don't need to be perfect to be in a relationship. You're a work in progress. We all are in a work in progress. This keeps you stuck, right? Yeah. The relationship is a support. That's what I'm trying to say, right? The relationship is a support to you in your healing. That's what I got to say. It's like, I'm surprised you didn't get the 4 of Cups here. But I only picked 2 cards. Anyway, it looks good for Capricorn. If they're willing to do the inner child work. Okay. So let's go for Aquarius. And Aquarius. Forgiveness. Goes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aquarius is happening in the 4th house. So we'll probably see that in the collective too, right? More migration coming with the Uranus and Taurus. People migrating. So maybe a new home, Aquarius. More focused on the emotionals, the emotions. More focused on the emotions, your emotional self, your internal self, less focused on your career. For the Aquarius rising sun or moon. Your mother, be more focused on your mother. 2. Okay. Okay. We have another card for Aquarius. Right. So really taking you to your emotional work. Oh, do we got this other? That's crazy. This. Okay. Okay. So let's see what you got here. You got the 8 of Swords. So that's victim thinking. Victim thinking. That's keeping you away from your emotional work. Let's see what these cards are for Aquarius. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. There's Aquarius. Betrayal. The ego has told you that you've been betrayed. Maybe you feel like you've been betrayed by your mother. This means the collective is going to go through some kind of betrayal too. Which is, again, use it as a mirror. If I feel someone betrayed me, then it means I'm betraying myself. Betraying your emotional self, because it's the 4th house. Okay. Let's go for Aquarius. Yeah, there we go. Which one for Aquarius? This one. Ego death. You're going through some kind of ego death. The dark night of the soul in the 4th house. Yeah, so this is going. That's what I see here. This is the 8 of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. It's the victim thinking, right? Usually she's got a blindfold on with the 8 of Swords around her. This is up in your head. Trying to avoid the real work, which is the emotions, right? We're evolving through the emotional body. That's solar plexus. That's solar plexus mutation. This is how we're evolving, right? This is how we get to this spot. Yes, the breathing, the meditating, the slowing down, the body awareness can get you here, but the emotional work is going to keep you here, right? Can't avoid that. I'm shocked that I didn't put that down there. So this is trying to avoid your emotions, Aquarius. And then you've got the Knight of Water and the 8 of Fire. Okay. So just to bring it back to relationships, you may have some emotions coming up, right? To be cleared now with these the planetary movements are definitely stirring up the emotional body of humanity. That you've got the Knight of Water, the Knight of Cups. This is energy like a romance. So this could be a person coming in to communicate something to you. So this is the energy that's trying to come in the 4th house. Yeah. So it could be you too. Right? Attract, because this is all about relationships, relationship time we're in right now. Oh, you didn't get any pentacles. That's funny. It's all about the emotions and the spirit, right? Yeah. So you're getting up in your head about it. That's what I see with Aquarius. Yeah. And what's the ego telling you? Well, the ego is trying to stay alive because you got the ego death card. Yeah. And the ego death card is related to that victim thinking. So he's going to betray you. That's what it is. Right? Keeping this Knight of Cups from coming in and communicating their love for you. Right? Right here. He's like, he's going to betray you like your last relationship. Like your father betrayed your mother or your mother betrayed your father. That's the story that's coming in. Right? But the emotions, what causes the ego death is these emotions, right? These emotions start moving in the solar plexus. And this is what you're called to do because this is fears, right? This betrayal is all about fears, keeping the fears away from you. And that's emotions, opening up your heart. That's the 4th house, right? Opening up your heart to this Knight of Water. This could be like the Queen of Water, right, too, if you want the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups. Yeah. What else do I want to say about that? So the train track is taking you to this new emotional fulfillment, right? It's the 4th house. This emotion, there's somebody that you can have an emotional fulfilling relationship with. You got no pentacles, so it's not about material. Like our old way of doing relationships has to change. It's not about coming together for material reasons, right? It's all about right now, the life and the energy is Aquarius is pointing you towards your own emotional fulfillment. Go to what makes you happy. Who makes you happy? Who's coming in? You got the Knight of Cups coming in. Mr. Romance is coming in. Miss Romance is coming in. So you don't want to get in your head about it, right? At all. And don't worry. This is like, right? The Uranus is in there for quite a while, stirring up your emotional body. So that ego is going to go, right? That ego can't hold down that tsunami. The tsunami of emotions coming through, tsunami of love trying to come through to you, right? He's got to disappear and get smaller and smaller. Yeah. That's what I would say, right? New relationship for Aquarius. And this is what the collective's going through too. It's like musical chairs relationships right now. Okay. That's Aquarius. And let's go for Pisces. Oh, and we started at Taurus, didn't we? Okay, Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. 1, 2, 3. Pisces is all about the thinking in the 3rd house. Moving from the 9th. So letting go of some tired old beliefs, Pisces. You got some tired old beliefs that are old. They're smelling like mothballs. That you have to let go of. Your beliefs about the world. Religious beliefs. Because the 9th house is religion too. And the train track is taking you to new ways of thinking. New ways of thinking that are more innovative. Because prosperity, Pisces, we want to look at prosperity. This is not prosperity, right? The ego. Because your mind's not clear. When you're listening to the ego, your mind isn't clear. Because your mind can't, your neutral mind. This is the psychological mind. That your mind's not clear, so you can't see opportunities. Right? We're surrounded by prosperity all the time, but our problem is we can't see, we can't perceive it. Right? Because this limits our perception. I feel like that's what you're... Okay. What do we got for Pisces here? We got 3 cards. Oh, we got a pentacle for Pisces. Okay. Pisces in the 3rd house. So you also got the 4 of water. That's a theme right here. This is missed opportunities, Pisces. Getting distracted on all that happened in the past, right? This happened in the past. This bad thing happened in the past. This bad thing happened in the past. And meanwhile, you're missing out, right, Pisces? You got that cup coming to you. He doesn't even look at it. Pisces won't even look at it, right? Doesn't even know it's there because he's in here. Pisces is in here listening to the ego. The ego is never going to say, look at that cup behind you, that opportunity behind you. Okay. So it's also saying to learn something. The 3rd house is about the student. This new train track. Oh, betrayal. You got the betrayal card too. So fears of betrayal in the 3rd house. So the ego is telling you that you're going to get betrayed again, like you did in the past. Where's Pisces? This one right here. Okay. Okay. So Pisces, 4 of water. Okay. So distract it with what of the past, and it has a theme of betrayal. So the ego is telling you that person's going to betray you like all these other people did, like your mother betrayed your father, right? All the stories it's going to tell you. So that's the fear, and that's keeping you away from this opportunity that's trying to get to you in the 3rd house. So this could be a relationship, just like someone in your community, right? The 3rd house is somebody around where you live. And so the medicine here is understand through compassion or misunderstand the times. So this is the medicine to get out of this distraction, right? Of this distraction, not seeing the opportunities around you, is to look back at those past relationships and really start to see them through your heart. That's what this is one of the sutras for the Aquarian age. Not to go into judgment, right? Not to listen to this, right? Not to listen to this. Listen to the heart, right? That heart. See through your heart what happened to you. And have compassion for yourself, right? The thing with love and relationships is it takes risk, doesn't it? You don't know. You have no certainty about it at all. There's no guarantees. It's a total faith, right? It takes faith and trust. And this betrayal, the ego will try to, well, you got to protect yourself. You got to put walls up. You have to do this. You have to do, that's not coming from love. That's coming from fear, right? That's not going to work for this new age of Aquarius. It's you're all in or you're all out, right? There's no dipping your toe in the baby pool, right? It's about diving in the deep end and just trusting that this new timeline's taking you somewhere beautiful, Pisces. And what else can you do? This is a Pisces card too. It's the High Priestess. This is the divine feminine. The divine feminine. So you got a connection to Scorpio and Capricorn, Pisces. So this is intuition, wisdom, and patience. So you can rely, this is the major arcana energy. So this is the intuition, strong intuition for Pisces. And Pisces is a water sign. They're very intuitive anyway. So you can count on your intuition. You know, you're not going to get betrayed again because you're not going to betray yourself. And how do you betray yourself? Is you listen to this instead of this. You listen to the ego instead of listening to your intuition. That's how you betray yourself. So it's just about making the commitment. It's like, I'm going to listen to myself, and you won't attract people who betray you because you're not betraying yourself. You may attract somebody that's just as intuitive as you, right? That they listen to their intuition too. They listen to their internal wisdom like that, right? That's how the mirror works. And then you've got the Eight of Pentacles. And this is about doing the work, right? Doing the work, doing the spiritual work. That's what this is saying, doing the spiritual work that you need to do when you're in a relationship, doing the inner work, the inner child work, all that, right? Showing up, doing it. And it's also, because it's the third house, is the new timeline could be bringing you to new work, like you're learning a new skill, right? Some kind of new skill, some kind of educational thing that you're really excited about. Yeah, that you're going to be putting the effort into, and it's a good thing, right? If the timeline's brought you there. Yeah. That's good. That's good for Pisces. Okay, let's finish it off with Aries. 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 There we go. And that, of course, is in the second house, the timeline. So new ways of earning money for Aries. Getting more so self-reliant. Getting innovative with how you make your money, Aries. And letting go of relying on other people to support you financially and materially. Okay. Right? Or some kind of income that you've relied on in the past that's drying up. It's drying up for you and forcing you. This is the thing, you can't get into fear when these shocking, unexpected things happen, especially around money. You have to look at it neutrally. And this is why you need to be in this state of awareness, right? Trusting, when you need to be in the second, right? The second gate, and the feminine, surrendering, trusting, being receptive, creative. If money's drying up somewhere, it's not going to fear, not going to victim. It's just like it's showing me something, right? It's showing me things have to change. And Taurus teaches us that everything we need is inside of us. We can manifest what we need materially. So you got the Fool card. So it's a brand new cycle for Aries, right? It's a brand new cycle for you for earning. So something's got to change. Something is changing for Aries big time. Yeah. So this is if you're a healer, teacher, life coach, right? This can be like your clients. Something's drying up there that used to work in the past. It's no longer working. It's just showing you that you got to change. Okay. What's the good card for Aries? Just this one right there. There's a way through every block. So you're going through some kind of block. Yeah. So to get through that block takes creative energy, right? You need creative energy. And that's that 2. That's the 2. That one, right? Creativity. And so you got the ancestral patterns. Ancestral patterns. So wounds, financial wounds passed down from one side of your family, right? And it could be low self-worth. Usually that's low self-worth comes with money problems and scarcity. So you want to have some patience with yourself there. Okay? with these ancestral patterns, because you're the one that's awake. You know, you're the one that's awake in this lifetime. To have compassion for yourself and know that there's a way through every block. This is one of the sutras for the Aquarian age that we're in right now, right? That there's a way through every block, but it's not the same old, because we're letting go of the same old. The same old of you earning money has to change. And this is a new beginning. So some new exciting Uranus, right, is going to come with the flash insights. The ideas are going to come. And you're going to love it because you're in Aries. It's going to be something new and exciting and futuristic, right? And Aries loves that stuff. They love being first. Yeah. So you may be in a time period right now where you're feeling blocked, right, financially. So you got to know that there's a way through every block. And you have to embrace the pioneer, right? That's Aries anyway. I'm the pioneer and I'm the adventurer. It's like, I wonder how I'm going to get out of this pickle, right? That's the fool. The fools completely trust because they know that they're protected. They're divinely protected, right? As they're a spiritual being having human experiences, and they're divinely protected and taken care of, right? So this is good for Aries. Okay. Okay. Jen Goodwin, my little pup loves these broadcasts. You know, somebody from the Netherlands sent me this this picture, and it was a picture of me because she was watching. She was doing I think she was in a program, right? So there was me on her big TV screen, and then the dog was sitting on the couch like watching me. I thought that was pretty funny. Speaking of pups, I got to get mine to the park. He's like being so patient right now. Okay. So thank you for everyone who's like stuck it through to the very bitter end. Remember, I got my recorded readings for the August, 50% off. Awesome material. And I hope to be having my second round, which are going to be really, really good. I'm really excited about this batch that are connected to the soul purpose. I'm really trying to make it, human design can get so complex when you get deep into the chart, which I'm doing, right? But one of my gifts is to simplify so people can understand and can really focus. And it's like, there's where I need to go, right? Because like I said to somebody, it's like the more of us we light houses are shining and beaming our light as our authentic self, the faster the clown show ends. Right? And then we can be really creating this new earth. This is an exciting time to be alive, Okay, but I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, so leave your comments below, and and reflections and anything you need to share, because I know people love to read the comments. I love to read the comments too. Okay, so have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world, and Sat Nam Aloha.